If you live here, fun is your thing. If you live here, tough is your thing. Smart is your thing. Caring is your thing. If you live in Massachusetts, community is your thing. Since 1972, the Massachusetts State Lottery has provided over $25 billion to help cities and towns with the things they need most. If you live here, giving is your thing.
My family earns respect.
My family clears bases.
My family breaks records.
My family wins MVPs.
My family gives everything.
My family makes history. My family wins championships.
There's no family.
There's no family. There's no family.
There's no family like my family.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
When Alaska Airlines needed a partner for the complex operations of travel, they made the switch to T-Mobile. Our 5G has Alaska Airlines and their customers covered, from major hubs to remote destinations. With 5G coverage ready now for the demands of today and the future, T-Mobile's network powers Alaska Airlines as they deliver next-level care for all customers. 5G ready now. That's how unconventional thinking is better for business.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news, some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
After not seeing each other through the first 2 weeks of the season, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks play host to the Harwich Mariners for the second time in 4 days on a muggy and overcast Sunday evening on Cape Cod. And with that, we'll welcome you inside and upstairs the Tim Elstrom Broadcast Center alongside Michael Kirsting, Mickey Doolittle. I'm Jacob Irons, joined alongside Bria Losick in a few moments, who's patrolling the sidelines as well. But guys, last time these two teams met, Hyannis was dominant, a 10-3 victory. How can they emulate what they did last time when they faced these Mariners team to get back in the win column?
Yeah, last time when these two teams faced off, it was a if it rains, it pours type situation in the top of the 8th inning at Harwich. It was an unbelievable showcase of a ton of offense. Hyannis was able to plug in their offense in that 8th inning and was able to turn a close game into a blowout. So they did a great job. And then repeating that tonight is going to be key to try and get those big innings, get out to a big league, and take the pressure off of your pitching staff.
Yeah, it was a 10-3 victory for Hyannis, but the stat that sticks out from that game is they scored 10 runs on only 6 hits. And that 8th inning came as a result of really good at-bats. They walked a lot and then came in on wild pitches. So they were manufacturing those runs themselves by getting on base in any way they could. Hits, walks, and then scoring on those wild pitches. So being selective and being active on those base paths, just as they were through that 8th inning. Just thinking about that, just that one 8th inning, that whole inning is one about how to replicate tonight.
And then staying on the same path last night, again, the offense showed out. Once again, it was continuing to be in that situation where you were able to continue to push on and get runs, another run, and then another run, making sure there was cricket numbers in a majority of the innings you played.
I was a huge fan of that win last night. To me, my favorite offensive night of the entire season so far because of the quality of the at-bats and how they were hitting the ball. Cam Smith and Eric Snow both using right field. That's something I feel like we haven't seen a lot from our righties this season. They used all fields taking it all the way and spraying it and making it nearly impossible for those Chatham fielders to be able to play them. Working themselves deep into at-bats, but then using the Jacob Irons approach too and attacking early, using a really good mix of each, and that was a real key to the success. And through those 6 innings last night, they got 8 hits, so really, really productive work, and it could have been an even bigger night as well.
Yeah, and really what stood out to me last night was they waited for their pitch. They were able to get deep in counts when they needed to, if they didn't see anything they liked, but if they got that pitch on the first pitch, they were going right after it. And Cam Smith especially impressed me using that opposite field approach. There were a couple of hits that he had when he got a fastball away, was able to stay within himself, keep his bat head behind his hand, slap it the other way. It was a really good approach from Hyannis last night, a game that they probably needed offensively, and they sent Chatham. Yes, Chatham has a 6 ERA now as a team, but still, it's impressive if you can score 7 runs in 5 innings in any mode in this league.
Yeah, you guys have talked about that outside part of the plate, you two both, and how important it is for hitters to be utilizing, for pitchers, to be utilizing it. But we saw Cam Smith last night use that to his advantage, staying back, using those hands first, having the barrel come second. And it's tough to say that hitters can do this, but he really squared up a few of those hits that he sent to right field. And now that's an approach thing in Cam Smith's mind. He's been their best hitter, as I said last night. His bat's been worth a mint over the last 10 games, and he's been showing out. And as on display last night, hope to see it again tonight.
However, we talked about the offense here, but let's also talk about here in this situation, the pitching, which has been so good.
Yeah, I mean, Simon Miller on the hill tonight, and last night, if not for a blow-up second inning from Ethan Bates, I think he pitched pretty well. There were a few calls that I personally think that Chatham was getting that Bates wasn't. He was working that, as you guys said, that outside part of the plate really well. Chatham was pretty picky with their pitches, and they chose their pitches well, worked decent at bats, 4-run second inning from him, but Bates worked 2 1-2-3 innings in his 3 innings of work outside of that second inning. And then Cade Obermueller in his second inning, or in his second game of work on the season, absolutely shut down. Again, just those two epitomizing how great the bullpen has been this season. And
then the pitching comes in today. It's going to be Simon Miller taking the bump and Robermel for Hyannis in this situation. Another good pitching matchup that time and time again you start and circle it in these. How far can these starters go, and when you can get out of the starters, that's going to be the big question.
Yeah, a win as a starter for the Cape is more so 4 innings. You would almost prefer to see the definition of a quality start get bumped down a little bit in this league, just because a lot of these guys are on pitch counts. But if you can give 4 shutout innings, or even 4 innings of 1 or 2 run ball, you're keeping your team in the game, and that is your job as a starter out here on the Cape.
When you talk about it, the bullpen, as we've been so impressed with by these Hyannis Harbor Hawks team that continues to show up and show out in those situations. When they point down and they look to the bullpen, they've been getting solid arms, and they've been putting up donuts on the board for them as well.
Yeah, and it's just coming out every single game. You expect that even once or twice you're going to have an kind of outing. We've only seen like 1 or 2 of those from the Hyannis bullpen so far. It's so impressive that the pitching has been able to maintain their level this season, and they've been the real reason that the offense has been able to stay in games. And because of that pitching, they've gotten quite a few wins as well.
And there's a reason Hyannis has won so many close games so far this year. It's because of their bullpen. They don't really allow runs late in games, and when they have, it's only been 1 or 2. There's been no blow-up innings towards the back end of games, so the bullpen, again, has been phenomenal, and there's a reason Hyannis wins close games.
They win close games, and they win comebacks, too, as if they get hit a little bit earlier on, then the offense gets themselves back into it, finds their gear in the second half of the game, but it's all reliant on the bullpen as well, because they shut games down as well and keep those offenses for the other side.
We'll send a quick break from our local sponsors. Stay with us. Hyannis, Harwich, coming up next.
A brilliant idea starts at the source. Through innovative design, we're taking steps to create a better future. Now, the pure fresh taste of Dasani comes in a redesigned bottle, up to 30% made from plants, and as always, it's 100% recyclable. Plant bottle, designed to make a difference.
This BBB seal is a badge of honor. It's a sign that this is a business you can trust.
Hi. Oh, this is amazing.
Each year, millions of people see the BBB seal on a door or a window or a website and breathe a little easier. See the seal and know you've made the right choice. Find a business you can trust. Ask BBB.
Hey, Mama, what's up?
Did you switch my service from Verizon to T-Mobile?
Yep. T-Mobile has the only nationwide 5G.
Well, Mr. Know-It-All, let's see if you right about that.
Mama. Hey, Mama, I'm working.
It works at the pie shop.
T-Mobile's 5G works inside and out. Hey, what you need, Mama? I'm trying to watch the game with my boys.
It works in the park.
Oh, okay. Mama?
It works at the aquarium, in the parking garage, at the beach, in the elevators. It works in the movie theater, too. Oh, shush yourself. I'm talking to my baby.
You're driving me crazy.
I was just calling you to say thank you, baby. I love you.
I love you too, Mama. Yes, Mama.
It works in the kitchen.
Hell, Mama.
Mama?
5G, it works in the club.
Who are you in a club with?
All about it. Hell, Mama.
As we welcome you back here to McKeon Park on this muggy Sunday evening for Sunday Night Baseball. Let's see how the Mariners stack up with Mickey Doolittle.
Jacob Humphrey will lead it off playing second base. He's from UMass Lowell. And Casey Sauke will play right field and hit second. From the University of Virginia, Mason Guerra, the first baseman from Oregon State, hits third. And then the cleanup hitter, you may be familiar with him from the last time Harwich played Hyannis. He hit that 3-run home run. It's Lorenzo Carrier, the left fielder, hitting cleanup from Miami. Kenny Lavari, the third baseman, 5-hole hitter from Old Dominion. Devin Obie, the designated hitter, number 24 from Duke, hits sixth. Matt Chanel, the center fielder from Princeton, hits seventh. Brian Arndt catches tonight, hits eighth from UNC Wilmington. And Ali Camarillo, the shortstop, hits ninth.
It's a lineup that once again trying to get a little bit more of an offensive power here tonight if possible. And they'll go up against, in this situation, against Simon Miller out of the University of Texas San Antonio. A stellar pitcher that comes in for now his second start on the year. A guy that continues to be a really strong pitcher.
Yeah, just as you said, he just has one other start, went 3 innings. In that start, only gave up 3 hits and walked 1 as we take a look at his season stats so far. There are his stats against Falmouth back on Monday, and he's looked really good in that one outing. He's looked great, and he struck out to go along with the walks. He's also struck out a few, faced 13 batters as well. And he's looked decent. So you come out, he's a closer, and he gives you three really good solid innings against Falmouth, setting the table really well. So out of that closer role, the opener role, if you would, today, that means he set himself a high bar, and we expect him to play pretty well and pitch pretty well, just as the whole Hyannis bullpen has.
Jacob Humphrey settles in. Simon Miller toes the rubber. We're about ready and underway as the first pitch in for a strike on this overcast night.
He zipped that in at 94 miles an hour on that radar gun. He's got a bit of heat to his arm as well.
Pitch missing off the plate there in that situation, evening the count at 1 apiece.
Yeah, Miller's going to work out of the stretch to begin the game.
Now a 2-1 count here on Humphrey out of UMass Lowell, hometown out of Standish, Maine. All-American East second team. Jumped you to it there, Mickey. That one misses low now, 3-1.
He hit .317 this year while slugging .523. Definitely a hitter that you don't want to give something right down the middle to.
Pitch misses high, and Humphrey starts tonight off with a walk for the Mariners.
Taking a look at the Hyannis defense, it's going to be outfield left to right, Mitchell, Taylor, and Earhart. Left side of the infield goes Smith and Hainline, Bradkey Laurie, and Austin Kelly on the right side of the infield, and Donay is back behind the plate after an off night last night.
Always like to give your catcher a little bit of some time away. Pitch in on Sauke, the right fielder, for strike. When you can get that opportunity to give him a little bit of rest, that's what you want.
Yeah, we see Austin Kelly playing first, but he also plays catcher too. So in a way, carrying 3 catchers can benefit you.
That one's knuckled foul. And when you can have a little bit of a rotation, you can get a guy down in the bullpen sometimes, and then also allows their bat to be able to come in as well. Humphrey leading off first. Pitch high, Donay with the snap tag. They're going to try and get Kelly over there. He can't get the tag back in time.
Decent throw from Donay. Being able to check on Humphrey is going to be a big thing. Controlling the base paths is a big part of how the Hyannis pitching will be able to dictate today's game.
Pitch comes, fouled off.
Yeah, pretty good battle here, fighting off some tough pitches.
Sauke continues to settle in out of Virginia. That one's lined right back up the middle, over the leaping Laurie. That one's going to get down in front of Taylor. Rounding and coming into third standing will be Humphrey. It'll be runners on the corners here. Still nobody retired in the top of the first for the Mariners.
And we've talked about it. Hyannis has struggled to limit base runners and limit runs in the early innings with their starters. But once you get the bullpen in there, they've been really, really locked down.
Now you bring in Mason Guerra. First baseman today for the Mariners. Now trying to take advantage of runners on. That's going to be chopped foul and back to us.
And Guerra went 1 for 4 just a few days ago. This is a bit more like the Harwich team that the league has been seeing. They caught them on a bit of an off day last time out. Bit of an offensive slump that day, but now here today, getting up runners on early and often and making Simon Miller work for this clean first inning is a bit more like their MO.
0-2 from Guerra. That pitch misses low. Now 1-2 here.
Got some pitches to waste here.
That one's fouled back into the netting. We'll do it again.
Yeah, just don't throw one in the dirt. Make sure Donay is able to block it, because that runner from third, Humphrey, can really run well down that baseline.
That was a good pitch right there, working as we've said, that outer part of the plate. It was a good cut too to be able to stave that off.
Miller's going to step off, disengage from the rubber. Understanding how crucial this at-bat is against Guerra. Swing and a miss. Miller's able to work his first out of the outing and leaving still runners on the corners.
And that's such a big strikeout now. Getting that first out, even though Lorenzo Carrier gave a big spark to Harwich in their last game, you can now pitch to contact a little bit. Use your off speed just a little bit, see if you can generate a ground ball that can potentially end this inning. You no longer have to trade that double play for an out.
Easier said than done against Lorenzo Carrier, who hit that 3-run monster bomb last time out against Hyannis.
Oh, 1 to come home. Big swing and a miss. Donate keeps it in front of him off of his leg guard.
Having the infield relax a little bit is big here. As I said, they no longer have to trade the run for 2 outs. So now the infield, as well as Cam Smith, is at double play depth. And you can tell that that's what he's trying to pitch for here.
2 misses low below the knees on Carrier. Now moving the count to 1-2 in that spot.
Perfect pitch. Right on the black, 50-50 right there. You'd have to really be expecting it to hit it hard.
1-2, runner goes, Donay fires down. Laurie's going to get him by a mile. They'll sacrifice the run to come home as Humphrey comes across. Mariners strike first, but 2 retired.
Donay almost looked surprised that Sauke was going down to second. He kind of double clutched a little, like, are you sure you want to do this? And he threw it down, perfect throw, but ultimately that gets the run in.
It was chop foul.
And that's part of that. That's a part of why Donay hesitated, was he was thinking, he says, maybe I can give this run up a little bit. He had some time to be able to double clutch and make a perfect throw. It needed to be.
Pitch down low, evening the count at 2 apiece here. But like you said, it's still early. One necessarily isn't gonna do it for you. Full count, swing and a miss. Miller works out of the jam, only allowing 1 to play. Hawks picking up their bats for the first time on the other side.
Retirement strategies come in all shapes and sizes. One strategy does not fit all when it comes to reaching your retirement goals. And considering all your options may be, well, more than you want to think about. So whether you're looking to retire or already living in retirement, you need a strategy tailor-made for you.
Fairway Financial can create a personal retirement strategy just for you, designed to take care of you and your loved ones. Call us today at 508-398-3337.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference. Leave your mark. Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself. Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Welcoming you back here to McKeon Park. Harwich was able to strike early and get 1 across in the first. Let's hear how the Hyannis Harborhawks stack up for tonight's matchup.
So the lineup to come back from this 1-run deficit starts with Nick Mitchell. Saw him in the leadoff spot last night out of Western Illinois. Go Cougs. Elijah Hainline stays in this number 2 spot out of Washington State. And stay hot Cam Smith, the sweet swinging Seminole, bats third and plays third base. Austin Kelly cleans up and plays first with Will Taylor right behind him playing center. So that's the same first 5 as last night. Zach Earhart slides up to the number 6 role and plays right field. Brody Donay slides down to the 7 and catches. Trey Lipsy will do the designated hitting and hit 8. And we see Brad P. Laurie slot in. He replaces Eric Snow from last night and plays second.
They'll take on Colin Rothermel out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Attends Kansas State University. Has a 0.00 ERA through 4 innings pitched. He has been stellar so far for the Mariners. The first pitch misses low, 1-0 to Mitchell.
Hey, Jacob, that ERA is pretty good, don't you think?
It's very good. And especially when you look at his sample size, still hasn't even allowed a hit yet so far this year, as that pitch off the plate. Now 2-0, but however, that was his one thing so far. He has 3 walks through those 4 innings pitched.
We'll face Nick Mitchell out of Indiana. Rothermel made 8 appearances this year with K-State, 6 starts. He had a 1-3 record with a 6.04 ERA. That's 19 earned runs in 28 1/3 innings pitched, striking out 22. But the walks also crept in there. He walked 19.
3-1. That's going to be Chopper right up the middle, off to his left side, but is unable to glove it on the transfer is Humphrey in that situation. And now able to make it on the error is Mitchell to put 1 on.
So that's a great at-bat right there because he works himself back, sees a strike of true Jeter at-bat right there, swings at the 3-1 and a hitter's count because he knows he's going to get that pitch as a strike, And then that speed, busting it down that first base line, is what makes Humphrey bobble that and eventually allows Mitchell to reach. Really nice work all around from Nick Mitchell to start things off here in the bottom of the first.
Speed continues now with Elijah Hainline, the shortstop, as he looks at a ball.
There you see the numbers for Hainline so far on the year. Hasn't been here for too long. Still getting settled in the Cape.
Pitch off the plate, now 2-0.
Yeah, Hainline scored twice last night, picked up his second hit of the season as well as walked. So, yeah, he's seeing the ball a lot better. It looks like he's now fully adjusted to that wood bat.
2-0. Rocket down the line, but is fouled down by the bullpen.
That was loud.
Yeah.
Love to see the TrackMan on that exit velocity. Just a loud strike one, though.
Now 2-1 now to come. Pitch just dropping in on the 84-mile-an-hour breaking ball to Hainline.
Hainline only 14 at-bats on the young season so far.
That one's popped up into left field. Coming to run in is Carrier. He'll call off Camarillo, but that thing drops in. A miscommunication between Carrier and Camarillo now puts 2 on board for the Harbor Hawks.
Yeah, in last game as well, the last meeting between these two teams, it happened as well. What ultimately ended up killing Harwich was mental mistakes, and this is a communication error right here between Camarillo and Carrier, is no one just called each other off, and each of them were kind of looking at each other like who was going to take it, and no one ended up calling it off. So more mental mistakes here for Harwich.
Pitch in on the hands of Smith. Now 2 on, still nobody away for Cam Smith, the hottest batter right now for the Harbor Hawks. He'll foul that one back into the netting. Smith out of Florida State, bats .296 on the season, has 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. Pitch upstairs by the eyes of Smith. He lays off of it.
296 is some number considering he started his first 7 games hovering right around the Mendoza line. He's brought it up almost all the way to 300. 3 hits last night. He was a home run short of the cycle.
2-1 comes home. Pull that one foul and out of play. And we talked about it. That was a shortened game last night that he was able to already have that accomplishment in of being shy of the cycle. So a guy that works his at-bats, and when he gets to the box, he's going to make sure he makes them count.
Good take.
Off the plate, now 3-2. That is what has been a common point we've seen, is the plate discipline, not just from Smith, but really all of the batters in every lineup for the Harbor Hawks. Payoff pitch to come. Pulled foul into the netting.
And it's either, with Smith, it's either working the pitches or taking the approach of attacking early. That's an approach that he's just adopted over the last 7 to 10 games, and he can really account it to that for his average going up so high, because he knows he's going to see the best pitches early in counts.
Full count to come, and pitch away and into the other batter's box. It's bases loaded, still nobody away here in the bottom of the first.
I know it's just a walk, but that's one of his better at-bats of the year. Those were some tough takes, and he fouled off some tough pitches as well. Cam Smith is seeing the ball really well right now.
And we're speaking about how he attacks early in at-bats. We've seen that so much more. That is, you said it, Mick. I fully agree with you. That is one of his best at-bats of the season, because he works back from being down, and he was trigger happy earlier in the season, but now sits back, waits for his pitch. Those are some really tough layoffs, just as you said. And to be able to be going with the range of being able to attack early and then work at counts like that makes him such a dangerous hitter.
Jeffrey Merzel, the home plate umpire, is going to break it up. Mike Hinojosa at first base, and Jesse West, the third base umpiring crew today.
And this is a big at-bat because it feels like it's been few and far between that Hyannis has been able to put up a crooked number in an inning, especially in situations like this. Bases loaded, nobody out. They've kind of struggled to ultimately get across 3 or more runs in an inning, so this is a big at-bat.
Pitch upstairs to Kelly above the lettering.
You talked about Kelly last night, Jacob, how he seemed due, and he was. Hit a 2-run double. He's been seeing the ball really well, making great contact, even if it doesn't fall down on the grass and if it just goes into the leather.
Also had a sac fly. So situational hitting, something Kelly has done pretty well this year. Has had a couple of big hits for Hyannis.
Kelly fouling that one back into the netting, behind in the count 1-2. In this situation, he could get a sac fly here as well and just be as productive, even with bases loaded.
He has more RBIs than hits right now, 6-3.
He'll go down swinging and missing for the first out here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, nasty off-speed pitch, down and away there. Really tough pitch to lay off, and Kelly just couldn't quite do it.
You know, going back to last night, that was something I was really impressed with, was the situational hitting approach. How we talked about Cam Smith, we talked about Eric Snow as well. Being able to utilize that right field. We haven't seen that much from the righty hitters this season, but to be able to sit back and drive was huge last night from them.
Will Taylor takes a swing and a miss, and now let's pull this stat in here. With bases loaded, Hyannis is batting .615. Whew. They are smoking when they have bases loaded. They're trying to do so here today. 0-1, fouling it off himself on the shin. Now 0-2.
That surprises me because, again, like I was saying, the crooked number has been something that they've maybe struggled a little bit to get, but 615 is ridiculous.
Do you have the exact numbers as in hits and at bats?
I do not. I just have the average.
All good, all good.
We can look at that in the next break.
Yeah, sure.
As Taylor still gingerly bounces up and down, he'll settle back into the box after fouling it off his shin. He's down to an 0-2 count.
Yeah, don't let that batting average fool you. He is a dangerous, dangerous hitter.
0-2 away, 1-2.
I think it speaks. Sorry, Jacob. I think it speaks to the amount that he has more hits than RBI. Oh, wait, I take that back. I was speaking about Kelly. Forget what I was about to say.
1-2. Off and into the other batter's box, 2-2. And something about Taylor is that in the moments when Hyannis has needed him, he has come through in big moments.
Yeah, despite that low average, he still got 6 RBI, so his situational hitting has been key for them this year.
2-2 ripped through the left side. That'll be able to bring in Mitchell. They'll send in Hayline. The throw cut off. It's 2 here in the bottom of the first as Hyannis answers back.
Great piece of hitting from Will Taylor, shooting that in between the 6-5 hole. Absolutely scorched it, loud contacts. He was a bit center cut, lower at the knees, but was able to rip that one to the left side.
So huge from Will Taylor again, and now he's finally got one through as well. So to be able to get a hit to his name and give his team the lead with the bases loaded, keeping up that scorching average, that's got to feel really good for Will Taylor.
Brings up Zach Earhart. He looks at a ball. Smith advanced to second. Taylor stays put at first. Still looking for more here with only 1 away in the bottom of the first. Earhart launches it into left field, dropping back and quickly, and it'll be a foul ball drifting just over and out of play, called by Jeffrey Merzel. That thing was carrying up into the sky, but just hooking down the line.
That, from this vantage point, which isn't the best vantage point possible, looked like a sure fair ball. That one was absolutely destroyed down the left field line. It almost went over that tree, that big tree that sits right behind the foul pole, but was just foul.
1-1. Earhart fists it. Guerrera's under it to retire the second.
just unfortunate from Earhart there after pummeling a ball down the left field line, coming back, just getting a ball off the hands. That's going to be one that he wants back.
Now that brings up Brody Donay, the catcher. Coming into today has a 14-game on-base streak. As he looks at a ball.
And that pitch was one of those, if Arndt was set up higher and towards the outer third of the plate and was able to frame it back in, he probably would have gotten that call.
1-0 off the plate, now 2-0 to Donay.
Count leverage now for a dangerous hitter that, as we've seen from our analytics team, can hit the ball very, very hard and very, very far.
Swing and a miss, and Arndt keeps it in front of him to not allow Smith and Taylor the advancement.
Yeah, he's had the hardest hit ball statistically in the league this year, 110 miles an hour off the bat. I mean, that's up there with major league levels, guys. That is a really, really hard hit ball, smacking the cover off the ball when he gets a hold of it.
2-1 to come. Donay fouling it off himself. Right. Grabbing it out of the clean blue sky right there. Look at him. Look at that replay right there. Bang. Got it.
He's a catcher. He's got those hands.
Quality replay by Grant McNew, Josh Schreiber, and Nico Sharp, our entire production team here with you, holding down the fort. As he'll foul it off again to continue at 2-2.
Now, I like that defensive swing from Donay. He is a bit out in front there on the off speed, but that's better. He's committed to swinging at that, but he takes a defensive swing just in case that is falling off the outer part of the plate, and he gets a piece to stay alive. And now Deuce is wild here.
2-2. Donay popped it up into right center field. Sauke comes in and comes over to range out and make the play. Hyannis answers for 2. They're leading by 1. We go to the second.
We all have obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself every single day, and the harder I push myself, the more I find myself drawn to wearing UFOs. The first time I put on a pair of UFOs, it was like someone released the pressure. It was so crazy. When you are recovered and can do more, that has a compounding effect on all aspects of your life. Stepping into a pair of UFOs, they're truly one of a kind. There's nothing like them.
Best ever? Good question. Wait, why'd he sound like Dr. J in your head? I've always sounded like Dr. J in my head, which means Dr. J's outside voice sounds like my inside voice? Which Coke? The doc would know. He got the world to call him doctor without going to med school. There's only one best ever.
Welcome you back here to McKeon Park, and 2-1 game, already a lot of action after 1 inning of play.
Yeah, and the Harbor Hawks are maybe about 4 feet away from leading this game 5-1 right now. Zach Earhart absolutely destroyed a ball down the left field line. We shouldn't forget about that. I think that that's going to be a play that we're going to look back at and think, oh, what could have been for the Harbor Hawks. But still, a nice inning with 2 runs. They got runs in with the bases loaded, but probably not as crooked of a number that they would have wanted.
But they responded regardless. They did. Really, really big inning. And to be able to come back, put up a crooked number with in the bottom of the first as well. They know they don't have to do it right away, but getting themselves the bases loaded from the top of the order, a top of the order that has looked really, really good over this game and the past game as well. So it's been a really nice response, and now time for Simon Miller, finally out of that first inning, to hold down things so the offense can give him a bigger lead.
Sun's starting to poke through after it had been covered by clouds for a majority of the day, just in time for baseball, as Lavari swings and misses here to start the second inning off. Always love when Mother Nature is able to work with you in the baseball.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
0-1, swing and a miss.
Or any other sport.
Yeah, really, any other sport.
Would you prefer, are you a guy that likes snow football games?
Ooh, this is a good, I'm a big snow football game, as the O2 fouled off. Lavari's going to keep it as bat alive.
I feel like in moderation, it's really fun.
So we had the snow game at Notre Dame this past year, Notre Dame versus BC, coldest game on record for a while, and it was just, we were blowing out BC, and then the snow started to come. It was just changed the atmosphere entirely as that one misses away.
Yeah, no.
Not a snow guy?
No. I enjoy watching snow games on television while warm in a blanket. That's what I enjoy doing.
Being cozy, tucked by the fire.
That's right.
1-2, swing and a miss, gets away from Donay. He'll have to fire down to Kelly. Lavari trying to beat it out, but it's going to be a K2-3. It's now 3 straight strikeouts if you go back to the top of the first for Miller in response.
Now, what I like on that play is, though a catcher by trade, Austin Kelly, who's playing first, knows to be able to step to the outside of that first base to give Donay a good line and not in the way of the runners. So Austin Kelly has slotted in at first base. He's been really, really solid, almost taking it to be his own so far.
95 miles an hour on the gun right there.
High cheddar. Obi goes around on it. Obi on another fastball swinging 0-2.
95-95. Let's see what he comes back with here. Obi has not been able to catch up to it.
88 mile an hour pitch gets him swinging and missing. Good morning, good afternoon, good night as Obi sent back to the dugout.
That's what we've been saying about over the last few games, an unfair at bat. 95 to start up top and then going back down low with the off speed, 2 pitches in a row. It's just unhittable.
Matt Scannella, the center fielder, looks at a strike.
I am very, very glad that we positioned our crowd mic where it is. It's always sitting right behind home plate. You can hear the pop of Donay's glove whenever these come in.
0-1 lined right up the middle. Scannell will be able to work a single with 2 away. Now to bring up Brian Arndt.
Nice piece of hitting right back up the middle. If that was hit at a fielder, definitely would have been put out. So perhaps a result that you aren't that down with for Miller. Maybe not that disappointed in. Now just got to tack one more hitter.
Arndt settles in, looks at a ball upstairs, and Miller's last appearance was at Falmouth, pitching 3 innings. Didn't allow up an earned run. Had 3 hits. That one's fouled back into the netting.
He's sitting 95 right now.
Yeah.
It's 95, 95, 94, 95. This is easy power here from Miller.
This shows you the versatility he has, as he can also come out and start while he was the primary closer for the Roadrunners this year. It's the 1-1. That's a scorching out to center field. Taylor out for it. It's going to bounce off the wall. Coming in, and they'll send in Scannell to come home. He'll come up standing. We're tied at 2 off of the big RBI double from Arndt.
Yeah, and that's the downside of throwing that hard. If someone can get into one, they're going to hit it a long way. That was absolutely scorched out to left center field. And Chanel, the runner at first, was running on contact with 2 outs. So he got a good jump on it, was immediately sent around third, no hesitation, and scores the tying run.
I'll just have a little more elevation. They could have gotten out of McKeon Park. Pitch in for a strike. Camarillo.
Yeah, it's just one of those, as you said, it's if you leave that out over the plate at that kind of speed, that is a mistake that it will be punished by all the good hitters here in this league. So nice piece of hitting from Arndt, excuse me.
0-1 to Camarillo, as that one is fisted off into right field. Earhard's under it to get the out. However, Mariners get one more. We're tied at 2 going to the second.
Diet Coke? Who are you, my mom?
You should be so lucky, because you know what moms do? Well, I suppose we should start with the whole giving you life thing. It seems like that should be enough. No? Okay. What about her ability to send shockwaves through the neighborhood without saying a word? Or whip up a ridiculous handmade costume that you forgot to tell her about. Not to make you happy, but because she had a reputation to uphold. She invented rideshare, called it carpool, and did it for free. She didn't need those dating apps either. You copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music.
Why not?
Oh, and she can win any argument in 4 words.
Because I said so.
Everything you're trying to do, she's already done it, did it better, and she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, drink what your mama gave you.
Welcome back to McKeon Park, tied at 2 apiece. Taking a look at Eric Beatty in his second season with the Hyannis Harborhawks. Won the Mike Curran Manager of the Year award last year, and he knows Cape Cod pretty well. He was a Hall of Famer in the class of 2014 in the second lowest ERA at .39, and people may start quick to judge. That's through 46 innings pitched. He's a guy that came out here and impressed.
Yeah, and was later to went on to be a draft pick and play in the minor leagues for a while. Eric Beatty, certainly a guy that knows a ton about baseball and is a great mentor to all these players. We see him down there every single day with the guys, just coaching them up, and he is one of the most easily approachable guys on this team.
And I think the fact that he has the second lowest ERA really speaks to how he coaches this pitching staff too. A pitcher himself, a successful one at that, and that just means all the more better for the pitching staff. He knows a good pitcher when he sees one, and it speaks to how the bullpen's been pitching this season so far, as well as his starters.
Lipsy out in front of the 87-mile-an-hour pitch as he swings and misses. Lipsy batting 125 so far on the season. Out in front of it again at 87 is Lipsy, behind in the count 0-2.
Despite that lower batting average, he's walked quite a few times and he's been plunked quite a few times too, so he's been able to find his way on base in whatever way he can.
Leads the Cape in.
Hit by pitches with 6. He is tied with Ferrer and Brewster with 6, so he is up on that top, and then Will Taylor right behind him with 5. Lipsy goes down swinging and missing on Rothermel's pitch.
Yeah, those were some nasty pitches from Rothermel. Those were just running out of the zone on Lipsy. Just no chance to get to those.
Going to bring up Brad Key-Laurie, the second baseman. Chopper off over to shortstop. Camarillo up with it and fires in time to require the second put in.
So much like the top of the third inning, quickly 2 away. We'll see if Hyannis now with the top of the lineup can replicate the success that Harwich had with 2 outs in the previous inning with Nick Mitchell, who, again, this year hasn't seen a ton of at-bats, still adjusting to the wood bat.
Has an RBI on the year, so he looks at a ball. .10 in for strike on Laurie. Transferring University of Tennessee to play out the remaining of his college eligibility as he's able to rip one down into right field. Sauke will be able to get there as that gets down and bounces off the wall. Laurie with his speed, rounding second. He'll come in standing at third. It's a stand-up triple with 2 outs for Brad Key-Laurie. For Mitchell there in that one, he was up and moving.
He ripped that one down the right field line. Not sure, Sauke, he wasn't getting over there with a huge sense of urgency, was digging that out as Laurie was rounding second. So Laurie kind of gave manager Eric Beatty and third base coach Eric Beatty a decision to try and send him.
As Hainline chops that one down and off over to Lavari, who gets it across the diamond in time. Mitchell's 2 out standing triple is left over there. We go to the third.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are, they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You gotta come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own, you turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be? You're a bad mother.
Welcome you back to McKeon Park. Still tied at 2 apiece between Harwich and Hyannis. Miller back out. And why wouldn't he be? Just continuing to be stellar. Just allowed that one to come across in both in the first and in the second.
Yet, he still worked through the second relatively quickly, so that pitch count being slightly down or even closer to where you want it to be, not too far over it. So he comes into this third, and you could see how long he goes. Looks like there's a bit of stretching going on down the left field line for Hyannis' bullpen, but Miller is where you want to be right now. He gave you 3 solid innings last time. You want him to give you 3 here, and that's what he's about to go out and do.
Now back to the top of the lineup for Harwich as Humphrey swings and misses.
A walk back in the first for him. Later came around to score the first run of the game.
Missing off the plate there, 88 miles an hour.
On that double steal that Sauki and him pulled off.
Swing and a miss at 89. Now 1-2 Humphrey drops down to.
I don't think that's 89. I think that's a little hotter than 89. Yeah, see, that read 89 again. There's just no way.
1-2 misses upstairs, 2-2. The pop we're hearing off that glove of Donay, I have to imagine, makes it sound a little bit harder as the 2-2 swing and a miss at 88. He goes down swinging for the first out of the third.
Again, there's no way that's 88. He is reaching back and absolutely flinging these things in there.
So that high pitch there that he missed with that high cheddar, that's also a waste pitch. You talk about waste pitches being in the dirt, but that's one too. It changes the eye angle, and then he goes back and just the pitch, that last pitch in the 2-strike count, the bottom completely dropped out of it.
There we go. That one read at 94. That's more like it.
It's got to be the pitch that is coming through. 1-0, down low in the dirt. Now 1-1.
McKeon Park radar gun has been a little inconsistent this year. We had a pitch that was registered at 26 miles an hour earlier in the year, which for those of you keeping track at home is pretty much impossible to throw 26 miles an hour about 60 feet.
I don't know. I bet you I could do it. I think with my arm speed, I think I could get it over there just in time. Like do a shot put. 2-1, swing and a miss.
You'd have to like get the ideal launch angle, like that 45-degree angle.
I think that's your key. You got to launch it like a shot put.
Put some backspin on it. Let it keep climbing.
2-2 in the dirt, touching chalk, loading the count full.
A lot of other ballparks don't have radar guns though, so very happy that we at least do have ours here.
Full count pitch. He goes around swinging as the tag's applied. It's nasty stuff from Miller.
6th strikeout of his outing so far to put 2 away, and this is where he struggled in the last inning. With 2 outs, he wasn't able to put Harwich away quite yet, so we'll see with this at-bat against a really good hitter if he can get out of this one.
It'll be Sauki who went down, and now it's Guerrera into the box. Again, 1-0. Miller working off the plate.
26-mile-an-hour shot put. That could you sure you could make that home?
Home 2-1.
From the pitcher's mound. That's what we were talking about, right?
Yeah. You just have to launch it up in the sky. That would be my thought. Hopefully. 2-1 down in the dirt. 3-1. My athletic ability, I wouldn't say is amazing. So we'll see. I don't.
This is something that we are never going to test, Jacob.
Yeah, no, I don't foresee us. Hey, I don't know. Our off days, we sometimes get bored.
We get bored a lot on our off days.
3-1. Off the plate. Carrera is able to work a walk.
I mean, we should come back here and set up the radar gun. That'd be fun.
For what?
Register how hard we can throw pitches. I'm curious with me.
Oh.
I don't know about
curious.
you.
I'm very curious.
Carrier settles in. I am not. I know I am not good at baseball, so I don't need a number to tell me. As that one's in for strike, as Carrier went down swinging back in the first.
We get TrackMan to record our spin rates, our beautiful 65-mile-an-hour four-seam fastballs.
I think I've got a bit more than 60. Not a lot more. I don't want to say a lot more, but I think I can get 65 up on the gun.
65. So a strong fastball for Little League Baseball then?
Yes,
right.
Absolutely. Give me a few more warm-up pitches than necessary, maybe even 70 up there. I back myself with that.
Pitch upstairs, pushing Carrier off the plate.
Yeah, not 94 at the eyes though. I don't think I can be putting anywhere close up to that because Simon Miller has just been pumping gas so far today.
2-1 to come home. Swing and a miss from Carrier.
Gotta keep an eye on Guerra over there with 2 outs. Teams like to send him. He doesn't have great speed, but not a ton to lose here. And now he will be in motion. And 3-2 count. He'll be going no matter what. Get that head start. But be very careful if you're Simon Miller against Simon Carrier, or excuse me, against Lorenzo Carrier, who launched a 3-run homer in the previous meeting between these two teams.
On her goes. It's a strikeout for Simon Miller, who's able to work out of it. We're still tied at 2. We send it down to our own sideline reporter, Bria Lasek.
Everyone's paying attention to it, but Nick Mitchell of Western Illinois formerly found his next home. He's going to Indiana. He announced it yesterday on Twitter, and I talked to him before the game, and he said that Indiana has always been the place that he's wanted to go. He's from Carmel, Indiana, and now his parents only have about an hour drive instead of about 10 hours to Western Illinois, so definitely a much better situation for them, and he said family is the most important part of getting to play a college sport, is having them watch and be a part of it. So congratulations to Nick. Back to you guys.
Vacation today at thisisdelmar.com.
Thank you, Mitchell. We saw Mitchell be able to work a stand-up triple, but left over there. But let's take a look at how we stack up now going into our 19th game of the year. It's Cotuit and YD pacing each division. They meet today in a big one, as that game was scheduled for an earlier start time. Cotuit out in front last time I checked. They're leading 4-1 here, but really, guys, standings with Hyannis' win last night, that was a big win to have them jump over Wareham.
Yeah, no, totally. And you're finally back up into that top 3 places in the Western Division. You get within 1 game of Bourne with 21 points. You have 19, so a really big win if you're Hyannis. You're within 2 points of Bourne. It's a logjam right in the middle, and then the top of the East right now, Harwich and YD, those two teams have been going at it for what it seems like the entire year.
Smith watches the ball off the plate.
Another huge win because, again, we talked about it for now, third or fourth night running. Here comes Falmouth on a 4-game win streak. It seems they've found their groove a little bit, and they're only 2 points behind Wareham right now, who have lost 3 of their own, and 3 points behind Hyannis. So Falmouth coming up, and they're going to be making the West really, really interesting.
1-1. Now becomes 2-1 as the pitch goes upstairs by Smith's eyes.
But Harwich and YD, it feels like every time Harwich wins, YD wins. And every time Harwich loses, YD loses. They're just going punch for punch at the top of the East right now with nobody really close to either of the teams. The next closest is Orleans with 6 points behind.
As that one's a strikeout looking on Cam Smith, taking it upstairs for the first out here at the bottom of the third. And how Harwich can, no matter what the outcome is today, they can try and get even closer as they play Chatham tomorrow in a makeup game. Only 2 games going on. Hyannis will be in action against Orleans tomorrow, as well as Harwich taking on Chatham.
Chatham has not had a single off day this year.
That one.
Like scheduled off day. That fog is brutal over there. It does not care about baseball.
Missing now 2-0 here to Kelly. We saw it firsthand last night how quickly it can come in and wreak havoc.
And again, from that game last night, Cade Obermueller working quickly through that 5th inning, able to get that game within the range of which is considered a completed baseball game. That's completed 5 innings. Hyannis, of course, had the 7-4 lead, and it was just called off after that. And Cam Smith tripled for good measure as the final hit of the game.
Kelly watches the ball upstairs to work a walk. He gets on. And we even saw fog during BP yesterday.
Yeah.
That just shows you, and once again, they start an hour later than here, but it's still coming in at like 5 o'clock when we were taking BP.
Well, we showed up, and I was thinking, okay, this is the fog park, you know, whatever, Veterans Park, known for the fog, and there was not a single piece of fog in sight. In the minute we were there for about an hour, maybe half an hour, we saw it kind of starting to roll in amongst the trees out in left field. We were standing with Coach B.J. Johnson. We looked up there, and he's like, oh, that's not good. It has made an appearance tonight, and it continued to roll in. It held off, luckily, long enough for us to complete 5 innings.
1-0 Taylor rips it foul down the third base line. Once again, temperatures today at 73, so if the temp drops with this pressure system in again, you could see fog here at McKean Park like we saw when they played Wareham. So definitely be cognizant of it once again as the sun starts to set. That pitch drops in at 79 miles an hour for a 1-2 count.
And I was so amazed. It just comes in like that, and it really collapses on you, and it just gives barely any time. And you're within a minute, even 30 seconds, and the whole field is engulfed by fog. We saw it here against Wareham. Out in left center field, we have a large phone tower that's way off in the distance. And I lost sight about that. That was my reference point in the Wareham game. We lost sight of that in about a minute and a half. And as soon as I saw that, I was thinking, oh no, this could become a hairy situation, and it did.
1-2 taken now for Taylor. He had a single back in the first.
It doesn't make a ton of sense to me that Chatham starts at 7. I get the history behind it, but it just allows for that fog to roll in a little bit more.
2-2. Fouled up and out of play. Especially with the history so far this year. They have been starting at 7 historically. So they'll continue on that tradition throughout the 2023 season.
I'd be willing to bet that historically they've had the least amount of actual scheduled off days.
2-2 down the first base line, and quickly up with it is Rothermel. Over to first base to Guerra. Kelly advances, though. He's at second.
And that's essentially serves as a sacrifice bunt. It's going to go down as a ground out for him, but it moves that runner into scoring position for a hitter that hit one about 390 feet, a foul ball down the left field line in his previous at-bat.
That was something we failed to mention last night, though, was that the Harbor Hawks hitters, if they got out, almost every one of them was productive. We haven't seen too many productive outs through the season, but making sure a runner gets over, gets in, that was a lot of their outs last night, and it's set up for the rest of the hitters to be able to do the rest of the damage.
Set up with a 1-0 count is Earhard. As he looks at a pitch in, having to back out of the way. 2-0.
Number 28 kind of poked its head in the door and then kind of left the room just a little bit.
Pitch in for strike, 78 miles an hour.
Perfect off-speed pitch, breaking ball on the outer third of the plate. We talked about those off-speed pitches away, especially the power hitters that can hit the ball a ton. Very effective.
Pitch gets away from Art. Moving from second to third is Kelly. Now with 2 away, a runner 90 feet away from scoring to try and untie it at 2.
And now in a 3-1 count, Earhart has huge count leverage here.
That one touching the upper part of the zone. Earhart thought it was a ball. So did the bat boy. Bat boy was already ready to take back that bat. Earhart's got to go pick it back up. We're loaded full.
I think everybody here except for the umpires thinking that was ball 4.
Payoff pitch to come. Pitch low on Earhart. Runners now in the corners.
That is a great take in a 3-2 count. A breaking ball that was absolutely perfect. Just barely skipped in the dirt and broke out of the zone, but a great take from Earhart, and that'll bring up Brody with runners at the corners.
Now Brody Donay, the catcher, settles in with runners on the corners. He looks at a strike.
And this is a guy that you want up with runners in scoring position because he's been on base in each of his last 13 games. So maybe not a hit necessarily, even just getting on base would extend the inning.
0-1. Starting to motion off of first was Earhart. He retreats back in there. Now in an 0-2 count here to Dene. Runners set in motion. That one's going to get away and up and into the netting. Able to score will be Kelly. Hyannis able to take back the lead as they lead by 1.
And how big was that advancement from Kelly from second to third on a wild pitch? It allows the possibility of another wild pitch coming in, and that is exactly what happened. And Hyannis retakes the lead in the third.
Yeah, I'm talking about those productive outs. Taylor, without that, he's only a third, is Austin Kelly there. So without that ground out, that run does not score. So that's why you talk about those productive outs and why they're so huge. Every single little thing matters here.
Donay barely gets a piece of his bat on it to continue his at-bat with Earhart at second base. 1-2. They hit him right in the back.
And that's number 28.
A league-leading hit by pitches. Donay hitting him square. They hit square on the back there. Now you're going to bring up Trey Lipsy. He struck out to Rothermel previously, as that one working the inner part of the plate called for strike.
This zone has expanded just a little bit in the last couple of hitters.
A 1 off the plate, now 1-1.
Lipsy looking for a big hit to try and get back on track here. Again, a guy that has reached base a ton.
Why he's in that designated hitter role today for the Harbor Hawks. 1-1 off the plate, now 2-1. That's something that he has done so well, is being disciplined, and that's why he's able to work himself.
And especially as a guy with a ton of speed, who's a threat once he gets on the bases. That's big.
2-1, lined right back to Rothermel. He's going to try and beat out Lipsy. He'll throw underhand to Guerrera in time. Kelly's able to come across. Harbor Hawks leading by 1. We go to the 4th.
Hey, Mama, what's up?
Did you switch my service service from Verizon to T-Mobile.
Yep. T-Mobile has the only nationwide 5G.
Well, Mr. Know-It-All, let's see if you right about that.
Mama. Hey, Mama, I'm working.
It works at the pie shop.
T-Mobile's 5G works inside and out. Hey, what you need, Mama? I'm trying to watch the game with my boys.
It works in the park.
Oh, okay. Mama?
It works at the aquarium, in the parking garage, at the beach, in the elevators. It works in the movie theater, too. Oh, shush yourself. I'm talking to my baby.
You're driving me crazy.
I was just calling you to say thank you, baby. I love you.
I love you too, Mama. Yes, Mama.
It works in the kitchen.
Tell mama.
Mama?
5G, it works in the club.
Who are you on the club with?
All about it. Tell mama.
Welcome you back to McKeon Park. Simon Miller back out there. So now this is time for a new part of our broadcast here at home. We're going to do trivia.
Okay.
From Baseball Ops, Gino, a great guy who's able to send Grant McNew, our producer, the trivia. So, how many active Harbor Hawks played in a regional this year? I don't even know the answer. So it can be 10, 12, 14, or 16.
So a regional being the first round
Correct.
of
The NCAA tournament.
Of the NCAA tournament. All right, I've already got 2 in my head.
Well, that's not an option.
No,
it's
I
10,
know,
12, 14, and 16.
I know. I've got only 2 without looking at anybody else.
Okay.
So we're getting
All
up
right.
there.
Oh, okay. All
I know,
right.
at least 10. No, I know that.
All right, so where do we got? What do you got on that?
I've got to look at that. I don't know.
You don't
I
know?
can just only think of a few off the top of my head.
I'm going to go with a healthy 12.
I'm going to go 14. I don't
All
even
right.
know the answer.
I have no idea.
Not 2.
I know it's not 2. I was just saying a few that I knew off the top of my head.
All right, so let's reveal it here, Grant. And what's my?
Oh, reveal it now. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, hold on. He's gotta push a couple buttons. It's 12. Mickey Doolittle, congratulations. Good serve. First time winner.
Wouldn't have been able to tell you it.
As it's a swing and a miss from Lavari to start things off here in the top of the 4th. A welcomed addition here.
Yeah.
I'm
Totally.
excited. I'm loving this.
We hope you play along at home. Maybe give you a couple of moments to make your own guess.
And what I love about this is on this team, this is stats that are occurring right now. 1-1 now, 1-2 to Lavari.
So off the top of my head, I've got Taylor, Sorona, Lane.
Yep.
Kelly may have, right? Lipscomb was in there, right?
Yes, Lipscomb was in a regional,
Okay.
yes.
Clemson was in there.
Yep, I've
Oh,
got
yeah,
Taylor.
they had
You
their
got
tough
Taylor, okay.
loss.
I'll go through the roster now.
2-2 here to Lavari. Swing and a miss. Miller continuing to be dominant on the bump.
Yeah, nice off-speed pitch away right there. Came back at an 87-mile-an-hour pitch. Was way out in front of it. And a good bounce back from him. Not a bounce back, good continuation of his strikeout parade.
That one scorched into left center field as Mitchell can only look at it, as that's a home run by Devin Obie over the left center field wall. We're back tied at 3.
That wasn't just over the left field wall. That was over everything in left field. That may have even cleared the trees out in left center. That's what they call a spectator shot. Mitchell took 2 steps and just watched that fly, and we're back even.
Now Matt Scannell, the center fielder, who had a single back in the second and came around to score, looks at a strike. And if you want a game that's going back and forth, right now this is the game for you. 0-1 off the plate now, 1-1. Every team continuing to answer back and forth.
Harwich got 1 in the first. Hyannis took the lead with 2 in the second. And Harwich was able to tie the game in the second. And then Hyannis would take the lead again, and then Harwich would tie the game again. It's been a tug of war so far.
1-2 upstairs on Scannell, evening the count at 2 apiece. Pitch in the dirt. Scannell will have to back away. Now 3-2.
It's now a big full count pitch. Again, can't groove one to him. Don't give him something too good to hit. Keep it on the corners here. And
a strikeout looking on Scannell. Miller fires back after allowing the home run of Obi to leave the park. And he gets a strikeout.
That is exactly what he did. He caught the corner with an off-speed pitch. Beautiful location there. 11 strikeouts for Miller, and that looks like will end his day.
It'll bring him Will Armstead for his first outing of the year for the Harbor Hawks as we continue to push on here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Retirement strategies come in all shapes and sizes. One strategy does not fit all when it comes to reaching your retirement goals. And considering all your options may be, well, more than you want to think about. So whether you're looking to retire or already living in retirement, you need a strategy tailor-made for you.
Fairway Financial can create a personal retirement strategy just for you, designed to take care of you and your loved ones. Call us today at 508-398-3337.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference. Leave your mark. Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself. Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Retirement strategies come in all shapes and sizes. One strategy does not fit all when it comes to reaching your retirement goals. And considering all your options may be, well, more than you want to think about. So whether you're looking to retire or already living in retirement, you need a strategy tailor-made for you.
Fairway Financial can create a personal retirement strategy just for you, designed to take care of you and your loved ones. Call us today at 508-398-3337.
Will Armstead comes in for his first outing of the summer with the Harbor Hawks out of Southern Mississippi. Comes in trying to just retire that last one.
And yeah, Armstead had a decent season at Southern Miss. He's one of our 12 regionals. And he played in Auburn, 2.09 ERA in 16 appearances, 4 of those being starts. In 43 innings, had 43 strikeouts to go along with 16 walks, and he's the archetype of this Harbor Hawks team. He goes about 2 to 4 innings in relief, so we saw it here from Simon Miller, who had a fantastic day, just couldn't get the last out, but he comes in, does Will Armstead. He's going to take some bulk up, save some arms, and we talked about last night if he could string 3 together, 3-3-3. That's going to be the game plan for Hyannis, and that's what they like. That's what they like out of the pitchers, and Armstead is going to be one of those guys that fits that archetype as well.
And you got a jewel out of that in Miller to go 3 2/3. So you're able even to bank 2 in that situation.
Armstead, a guy that has that lower 3/4 arm slot. He's going to be tough on righties because, of course, righties are going to see that ball first coming behind them, and then it'll come back across and hit the plate.
That one's popped up to the right side of the infield. Kelly comes in, calling off Armstead, and he's able to work out of it quickly. We're back tied at 3, going to the bottom of the 4th.
A brilliant idea starts at the source. Through innovative design, we're taking steps to create a better future. Now, the pure fresh taste of Dasani comes in a redesigned bottle, up to 30% made from plants, and as always, it's 100% recyclable. Plant bottle, designed to make a difference.
This BBB seal is a badge of honor.
It's a sign that this is a business you can trust. Each year, millions of people see the BBB seal on a door or a window or a website and breathe a little easier. See the seal and know you've made the right choice. Find a business you can trust. Ask BBB.
Centerville Pie Company's pie eating contest as Cole from Baseball Ops down there doing the due diligence of being the intern or the Harbor Hawk Associated member to come in. But now let's take a look at how these two teams stack up statistics-wise. And really, they're pretty split. But the biggest one that we highlight, that third line is always going to be the changing one throughout our broadcast. And it's that OBP, second right now in the league at 360 for the Mariners.
Yeah, they have just found a way to get on all throughout the year. 360 versus 338. Hyannis going to hit for a little bit more power, but that OBP is also very, very important, as Harwich has just done a great job all year of working counts and getting on base by any means necessary.
It's kept them in the race up at the top as well. I mean, competing with the YD team that's scoring almost as much as they are, they have to be getting guys on base. Scoring runs is what they do, and that's their MO. As you guys said, second highest in the league.
Jacob Gomez now comes out to pitch. His last outing came against Hyannis in the routing where he wasn't able even to finish the inning, as that one misses low inside on Laurie, as he went a third of an inning, allowed 3 that all were earned, gave up 2 hits, walked 4, struck out 1 through 7 batters faced. That one's in for strike on Laurie to even the count at 1-1, but comes in with a 6.75 ERA through his 3 games played.
Yeah, and before that, he did a great job against Katuitt at Katuitt. 4 innings, 4 hits, and he did not allow a run in that one with 5 strikeouts.
Or he's able to line that one back off the hop is Camarillo on the field and fire. Camarillo playing the diamond perfectly.
Yeah, that was a very tricky hop that might have actually favored Harwich if Camarillo had to reach down. That's where you see a lot of those balls bobbled. He was at a full sprint to his left, but ultimately Laurie is retired as that one looked like it bounced off the lip.
Yeah. It had a ramp as you go back to the top of the lineup to Nick Mitchell.
And we say it over and over again that McKeon Park has a very tricky infield. It's a little bit inconsistent, so infielders beware.
Mitchell looks at a ball off the plate.
And that's such a tough play, but you expect shortstops to make it. And Camarillo plays that really nicely off the hop. He had to come up on it, stayed down nice, but then got up to it even faster.
Pitch missing low, now 2-1 here to Mitchell, who reached on an error and came around to score in the first. Then had this stand-up triple in the second. He looks at a pitch, now 3-1. In for strike to load the count full, just clipping the outer part of the black.
Mitchell's going to choke up on that bat a little bit here in a 2-strike count.
Off the plate. Mitchell's able to work the walk to get on, and now through all 3 plate appearances, he's been able to get aboard.
Yeah, good at-bat from Mitchell there. He sets the table for the top of the lineup, and the big boys are coming up. Hainline with a single back in the first, and then the red-hot Smith due up after him.
And he's really operating in such a leadoff hitter kind of role.
Yeah.
2 hits so far and then getting on base through the walk there. I mean, you can't be asking more out of Nick Mitchell. He's come in. He's really shown almost no grace period between the wood bat. He got 2 hits last night and scored, also produced a productive out. So Nick Mitchell really making a name for himself in the leadoff spot.
Hainline swings and misses there to fall behind in the count 0-2. That's what you want out of that leadoff guy. Just get on and let the guys behind you try and move you around.
And you see in the modern game now, you almost value OBP more than speed.
0-2 is able to go into right field. Sauki is unable to make the grab as it leaps over him. Hitting and getting on the horse to come in. Standing at third will be Mitchell, waiting to watch the play. And as soon as he saw it drop down, started racing around second. He wanted to get to 3. He comes in standing, now 2 in scoring position.
That was a rocket out to right field, and Sauki didn't get a great jump on it. Put in a great effort to try and catch up to it, but it was just out of his reach, and now Cam Smith comes up red hot with 2 runners in scoring position and only 1 out.
And was going to make the point about Hyannis that he's also come into his own as well. 2 hits here today.
Smith rockets that one foul and out of play.
So 2 hits here today. He's on a bit of a 3-game hitting streak of his own here. He almost acts as a leadoff hitter himself. So having guys who have a real high average to be getting on for Smith is crucial here. So really nice at-bats so far today to bring up Smith with a really good opportunity to get the lead back.
Yeah, and Smith has taken some good at-bats today. He did strike out looking back in the third, but that was a long at-bat, and then he worked a huge walk back in the first.
Smith watches it in the dirt. Arndt doing a great job to keep it in front of him. Now 2-1. Once again, only 1 away. Sack fly could be able to bring in Mitchell. Ooh, big, healthy hack from Smith.
Yeah, he missed that one. That was center cut right where he wanted it. And he put a big swing on it. No mistake what he was trying to do with that one, and that's a pitch that he's driven before.
2-2 on the off speed. He goes down swinging.
So here's Kelly that has had a couple of really big hits so far this year. He was a 2 RBI double last night and then a sacrifice fly. And he's been clutch all year. He's been able to find gaps with runners on.
Pitch in for strike on Kelly.
It is lefty on lefty here, so advantage Gomez.
0-1. Another swing and miss. Behind in the count, 0-2 Kelly is.
Yeah, it was a fastball inner third of the plate. So hard to get your bat head around on that one and drive it.
0-2 in the dirt. Kelly's going to try and run it out. Arndt's going to have to throw it down in time to Guerrera. They leave 2 on. We're still tied at 3 going to the 5th.
Diet Coke? Who are you, my mom?
You should be so lucky, because you know what moms do? Well, I suppose we should start with the whole giving you life thing. It seems like that should be enough. No? Okay. What about her ability to send shockwaves through the neighborhood without saying a word? Or whip up a ridiculous handmade costume that you forgot to tell her about? Not to make you happy, but because she had a reputation to uphold. She invented rideshare, called it carpool, and did it for free. She didn't need those dating apps either. You copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music.
Why not?
Oh, and she can win any argument in 4 words.
Because I said so.
Everything you're trying to do, she's already done it, did it better, and she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, drink what your mama gave you.
Welcome back to McKeon Park, tied at 3 between Harwich and Hyannis. Will Armistead out of Southern Miss comes back out after getting a third of an inning of a work, comes back out to try and go for the full inning.
Yeah, but he did a great job against Arndt and do some soft contact, little soft pop-up to the left side. He beat him inside, so a little knuckler off the hands for Arndt, but soft contact, and that's what he does. He's a guy that was absolutely dominant this year and continues that, hopes to continue that out here on the Cape, and so far he's been doing a great job.
As Ali Camarillo, the shortstop the 9-hole hitter, to start things off here in the 5th. With Humphrey, Soki to follow.
That sunset's going to be really pretty in about 15 minutes.
Pitch inside, 1-0 is talked about. Had gloomy weather. There was a little bit of a passing shower around 4 as that pitch in for strike, evening the count at 1-1 as BP and IO is canceled. This was a show and go game for both teams. They got on their buses, came here, and they were ready to go.
And for a second, I thought that rain was going to be a lot harder than it was, a lot thicker, but it was very light rain that ultimately ended up doing nothing to the field and allowed us to play today.
Got to give credit to all the field maintenance table that it's able to take on the rain. As the 2-1 hits him, drop his bat and walk away. Bruised in on the hands there.
Yeah, unfortunately, that one got away from Armistead, as that was an off-speed pitch, very unintentional, and just hits him in an unfortunate spot. That one hurts on that arm.
Take his time to walk down to first. Athletic training staff just hanging out right outside the dugout, waiting to see if they want to call him over. He's still trying to walk it off.
Stay in. He's got that big oven mitt in his back pocket that you see a lot of base runners using nowadays.
Yeah, the sliding glove.
And that's actually going to go on the perfect hand, the perfect arm there. That left arm that got plunked. A little bit of protection, and he might be raring to go here.
Oh, and fouled back by Humphrey. Now you turn the lineup back over here for third time today for the Mariners. This will be their first time seeing Armistead. That one's flown out to center field. Dropping back will be Taylor, making the play just short of the track. Retreating back to first will be Camarillo.
I don't think, as we take a look here, I don't think most people at home understand how easy Will Taylor makes that play look. He has to drop back, allows his shoulder to drop in a little bit, and just allows it to fall into his glove. He's got the glove perfectly positioned there. That is not an easy play. He could be ranging either side. He makes that play look so easy.
I think the closing speed is almost more impressive than that because he didn't get a great jump on it. His first step was over to the left.
Sauke's able to line it through the right side of the diamond. Holding is Camarillo at second base. Sauke works on with another single, his second of the day.
That was a perfect approach right there. A little grass trimmer out to right. Went the other way. That was hit very hard out to Earhart at third. So Camarillo was not allowed, or was not given the opportunity to round second and go to third.
You got to give credit to Earhart, came in charging to make sure that he was out in front of it and had an arm there by it. Breaking ball at 79 off of the plate on Guerra.
Middle infielders are in right now at double play depth. Allows them to try and flip one on to second a little bit quicker, or get over to second a little bit quicker.
Double play would get them out of this top half of the fifth.
Looks like Donay was a little bit crossed up there. I think he was expecting something, a fastball, and it came in as an off-speed pitch, but to his credit, was able to glove it.
Ball gets away and off of Donay's glove. They're going to be able to send in, and the throw not going to be in time. Comes in sliding. It's Camarillo. He was sent all the way around from third. A ball that trickled all the way down by the Bat Boys behind Air Cage as he had to go over there and grab it.
And the argument might be here that it might be a dead ball over by the Bat Boys. I'm not sure what the ground rule is over there. You have the fence. You have the fence over by the Bat Boys right behind that on deck circle. And Eric Beatty's going to argue this one. There it is. It went into that little corner between the left side of the fence and the bricks, but the umpires are going to get together here and discuss this one, whether or not it was a dead ball. And you got to give credit to Camarillo. He was immediately sprinting to third. That play was not going to be made if he was hauling butt over to third, and then he was able to round it and come home heads up base running. Got that left arm in on a head-first slide just in time.
Jeffrey Merzel, Mike Hinojosa, and Jesse West, the umpire and crew, meeting to have a conversation about what they want to do here. As they're going to rule him safe at home, Camarillo's able to break the tie again. It's 4-3 Harwich here. Sauke off over in this situation to second base as the at-bat continues for Guerra. 3-0 fouled back.
3-0 green light there. Interesting decision. And that's a big play at this point of the game, obviously.
(3-1), that's going to be lined in to right center field. That's going to be able to score Sauke easily. And coming in standing with the double is Guerra. They're able to answer for two here in the top of the fifth.
Maybe it wasn't a big play, because if that was about to happen next, it would have scored both runners and we wouldn't be here, as manager Eric Beatty's going to make his way back to the mound and might be making another pitching change. So 2 runs in the inning for Harwich.
A lining double for Guerra is pulling Armistead out of the game. We'll go to a break here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Diet Coke? Were you my mom?
You should be so lucky, because you know what moms do? Well, I suppose we should start with the whole giving you life thing. It seems like that should be enough. No? Okay. What about her ability to send shockwaves through the neighborhood without saying a word? Or whip up a ridiculous handmade costume that you forgot to tell her about? Not to make you happy, but because she had a reputation to uphold. She invented rideshare, called it carpool, and did it for free. She didn't need those dating apps either. You copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music.
Why not?
Oh, and she can win any argument in 4 words.
Because I said so.
Everything you're trying to do, she's already done it, did it better, and she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, drink what your mama gave you.
Welcome back to McKeon Park, where the lights shine bright all season long thanks to the Knack Cape Cod. Offering 2 convenient locations on Cape Cod, the Knack is the perfect spot for a burger, taco, or even a milkshake. Visit thenacapecod.com to order online today. The Knack Cape Cod is the official Light Up the Park sponsor of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Matthew Maloney comes in relief to settle in on the bump out of New Mexico State.
Yeah, Maloney, a guy that was dominant at New Mexico State, a 1.68 ERA, and so, but this is this season's stats here for him. 5 1/3 innings, he's been just fantastic, nearly perfect. 10 strikeouts to 4 walks. He's a guy that is very different from Armistead. That he has that Armistead has that lower 3/4 release. Maloney's just completely over the top as you're seeing him throw the warm-up pitches. There he goes. It's just right at 12 o'clock over the top of the head, and that is a little bit easier on the throwing arm than one of those sidearm pitches, but still is very effective.
Yeah, I think that's what also makes this bullpen so tough is you're seeing so many different arm slots on so many different arms. You see some lefties come over the top, righties over the top. and then lefties in the lower three-quarter, upper three-quarter, as well as the righty. So switching arm slots here for Lorenzo Carrier. It's a decent call to the bullpen as well.
Still looking for 2 more, as Harwich is able to plate 2 so far in the top of the 5th. Maloney's first pitch of his outing tonight goes below the knees for a ball.
Armistead, his line isn't quite closed yet, but he goes 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, no walks, no strikeouts, and is now responsible for 2 runs, but that could become 3 with the runner at second.
1-0 missing, now 2-0 here.
Dangerous hitter. Lorenzo Carrier has struck out twice today.
Has 2 home runs on the year, as you've touched upon, Mickey. 2-0, swing and a miss.
After 2 straight breaking balls, comes back with a fastball away. Gets him to swing and miss. So he slowed him down and sped him up with that pitch.
Count still in Carrier's favor. 2-1. Missing away now, 3-1. No harm, no foul if you do walk him here, as you have first base open, and then you would allow for the double play possibility to become available. That one's popped up into foul territory. Giving chase will be Kelly, over by the bullpen of Harwich. He's able to glove it. No movement from Guerra. 2 away.
And that was the first pitch inside the zone that Maloney had thrown in that at-bat, and he might have gotten away with one. It was pretty center cut with a fastball, but luckily he slowed him down with an off-speed pitch, and then he sped him back up. So he's a little bit behind it, popped it up, got under it, and sent it into foul territory. So good sequence there from Maloney.
It's going to bring up Lavari, who is struck out both times up. They're going to ask the bullpen down the line to fix that screen if it's not in use.
And Kelly was over by that screen. If he would have run into it, it would have been an interesting ruling, because it isn't supposed to be out when there's nobody throwing in the bullpen.
Vari looks at a pitch inside, 1-0, and bullpen's directly on the warning track, but instead of having to toss another player out there with a helmet and a glove, they put the nets out there, as that one's in for strike on Lavari. Try and keep some arms and inside, a little risk of getting injured from a play where they're not actively competing. 1-1 breaking ball at 76. In the dirt, 2-1.
That's such a big breaking ball. So much break from 12 to 6 o'clock. Just snaps downward.
Two-1 over the head of Laurie, and that will drop down in front of Earhart. The throw to come home is going to pull Donay off, but the throw in time. A snipe from Zach Earhart to cut the runner in Guerrera. A beautiful play. We go to the bottom of the 5th after Harwich was able to answer to get 2.
Hey, Mama, what's up?
Did you switch my service from Verizon to T-Mobile? Yep.
T-Mobile has the only nationwide 5G.
Well, Mr. Know-It-All, let's see if you right about that.
Mama. Hey, Mama, I'm working.
It works at the pie shop.
T-Mobile's 5G works inside and out. Hey, what you need, Mama? I'm trying to watch the game with my boys.
It works in the park.
Oh, okay. Mama?
It works at the aquarium, in the parking garage, at the beach, in the elevator. It works in the movie theater, too. Oh, shush yourself. I'm talking to my baby.
You're driving me crazy.
I was just calling you to say thank you, baby. I love you.
I love you too, Mama. Yes, Mama.
It works in the kitchen.
Hell, mama.
Mama?
5G
Who are you on a club with?
Retirement strategies come in all shapes and sizes. One strategy does not fit all when it comes to reaching your retirement goals. And considering all your options may be, well, more than you want to think about. So whether you're looking to retire or already living in retirement, you need a strategy tailor-made for you.
Fairway Financial can create a personal retirement strategy just for you, designed to take care of you and your loved ones. Call us today at 508-398-3337.
5-3 Harwich leads, but Zach Earhart was able to save another one from coming across on that snipe from right field.
Yeah, here you're seeing again, collects it up perfectly, uses his momentum towards home plate to get everything he can behind that throw, and just a frozen rope to Brody Donay, just a little bit off to the left, but that would be nitpicking if you can't argue with the results there, as Donay was able to reach across the plate and tag out the runner.
Hyannis looking for two here. Try and even things back up. It's been tic-tac-toe so far between the two teams as that one runs inside on Taylor.
And it's nothing Hyannis isn't familiar with. They like coming back from behind, and it's a good guy to start off with Will Taylor, starting to feel himself a bit. 2 RBI single back in the bottom of the first.
1-1 popped a mile into the air. Under it is Guerra to make the pop-up.
And so here comes Earhart himself. Dangerous hitter in his own right so far today, has popped out and walked. He also stole a base back in the third.
Earhart shows bunt, pulls back, still in there for strike.
Yeah, and I like that because theoretically that pulls in the corners, which they aren't doing right now.
In for strike.
Interesting when you show bunt and the corners don't come in.
That one's fouled away. 0-2, and they might have scouted here, this Hyannis team that understands that Earhart may be able to throw it down, but he is still an active hitter. 0-2 in the dirt, taken 1-2.
And we saw him do this the other day. We saw him show bunt on that first pitch, pull back no matter what. It was probably a take all the way. Just show them the bunt, maybe bring those corners in a little bit, and then get ready to hit in the next pitch.
1-2, fouled off of Earhart himself.
That one hit Earhart's bat twice, I think.
One, two, out of the reach of Lavari. And Earhart with an aggressive turnaround first, retreats back to get a single. Earhart, since that bunt has come alive.
Yeah, we saw him last night, walked and singled against Chatham, and now he's got another clean single here tonight. So perhaps that slow start, he's really breaking out of it now, and he's been seeing himself on base the last few games.
And now he's got Brody Donay, after getting a first, who has a 7-game home hitting streak.
That one in the same spot. It's going to get through again.
How about 8?
Earhart retreating back to second. He goes station to station. Brody Donay continues to be an impressive hitter here at McKeon Park, batting .391 here in the confines in Hyannis.
Yeah, and also now extending that on-base streak to 14. And he's been seeing the ball a lot better, likes hitting at home, and he's able to get that through. We like him with his hard contact. That's all we talk about, but even just able to poke that through and just be able to get himself on, even if it's weaker contact, is great work from Brody. Now they've got first and second, one man out for Lipsy.
Lipsy shows bunt, pulls back to watch it go by as a ball.
So this is putting trust in Brad Keylori, the on-deck hitter. Putting that tying run on second potentially if he's able to lay down the bunt.
Pitch missing, 2-0. Gomez back on the bump, trying to work out of this jam. 2-0 in for strike. And although Lipsy showed bunt, infield's pretty relaxed for the most part. They're pretty content on trying to go for the double play here.
Yeah, Lipsy, a tough guy to double up. He's got a ton of speed.
2-1, Earhart in motion. The throw down, not going to be in time. Keeping his foot on the bag is Earhart for the stolen base. Now a sacrifice fly is able to get one in.
Yeah, you saw that was a big lead right there on the, as you saw on the replay. Was halfway down, took a stop, and once he realized Gomez wasn't paying any attention, he went and got a really good jump. He got such a good jump, he nearly slid off the base. Had to keep his foot on. He did so well, and now a fly ball scores a run.
It was one of those kind of semi-delayed steals.
3-1 missing off the plate. We're going to load him full here.
He skipped into it, so it was, he got the start before the pitcher Gomez even got his windup started. And now the bases are loaded for Bradkey.
Bradkey Laurie, the 9-hole hitter, comes into the box with bases loaded. He'll look at a ball upstairs, 1-0.
You mentioned, what was it, 6:15 with the bases loaded?
6:15 with the bases loaded, Hyannis is. As the corners will start to move in a little bit. That one foul back into the netting.
He timed that up well. Just fouled it straight back. Again, we mention it every time you see those balls fouled back, it's probably because they have it timed up, just got a little bit under it.
Pitch inside, 2-1 now.
And we saw on the wide shot there that there was a hole between first and second, with the first baseman Guerra holding on Lipsy at first, as we get a nice look there. That's a place that Laurie can go. He can send it there.
Laurie goes around on it, swinging, 2-2.
He's not holding him on. He's guarding that line. Because they don't want Lipsy to be able to shoot one down that first base line. So interesting decision here. Still got to keep your head up if you're Lipsy, because he's kind of screening him from view of the pitcher.
As Laurie's able to fly that one into center field, Scannell will position himself under it. Tagging is Earhart. They'll cut it off with Camarillo at shortstop to not allow the advancement of Donay, but they're able to get one back here in the fifth. Harwich still leading 5-4.
But this team knows that they don't have to get it all in one swing. That's a good, productive out from Bradkey Laurie there. Sending one long enough that it doesn't even have to be that far with Earhart's speed, but he comes in, scores easily. There was a good, smart play to throw it to third as opposed to going home and keeping Donay at second. But now they're within one, and they've still got now the tying run in scoring position up for Nick Mitchell.
Breaking ball upstairs, and who else would you want in this situation besides Nick Mitchell? Again, through his 3 plate appearances, he's reached all 3 of them. Ooh. Pulled just above the knees to even the count at 1-1.
50-50 there. It was just on the outer third of the plate, right on the black, but probably a good take from Mitchell, who wasn't going to probably do anything with that pitch.
That one's going to be lined right hacked up the middle, and it'll drop down in front of Scannell. They'll be able to wave in Donay. They'll try to cut the runner at third. And now moving to second is Mitchell. Lipsy with his speed's able to get there in time to third. And now we're back tied at 5.
This is a great piece of hitting. That's a hanging breaking ball right in the middle of the plate. And Mitchell stays within himself. Didn't get all of it, kind of got it off the end of the bat, but was able to muscle that one into center field. And then Scannell, the throw to third, you have Donay rounding second, who has pretty good speed for his size, but isn't the fastest of runners. I thought he had a chance to throw him out at home.
Heinlein fouls it off and out of play. And just like that, we're back tied
But have a day, Nick Mitchell, too. 3 for 3 with a walk, and he's got the RBI to tie the game as well. Also scored in the first. What a leadoff hitter he's looking to become. Really shaping his role, about to take the leadoff hitter role as his own.
That one's in the dirt. 1-1 count here to Heinlein. If you want a campaign, I think he's put himself and made it a hard campaign not to vote for Mitchell to be in that one hole every night.
And how about this for a response? Again, these Hawks just finding a way to come back from being down.
1-1 line right back up the middle. And over there in time is Humphrey. He'll fire it off the hop in time. Guerrero is able to stick it out of the dirt, but we get 2 back. It's another great ball game between Hyannis and Harwich. We're going to the 6th.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are, they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You got to come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own, you turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
You're a bad mother.
Cape Cod Healthcare is proud to be the official healthcare sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. When you need to be seen quickly for a minor illness or injury, Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care offers a convenient and cost-effective treatment option. With 6 locations across Cape Cod from Falmouth to Orleans, open daily with no appointment needed, and staffed by board-certified ER providers. View wait times at capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care, minor emergencies, major attention. Maloney back out for another inning of work here to try and keep his team in the Harbor Hawks tied with Harwich.
Yeah, I mean, I just said it at the end of last inning there. They respond. They know how to do it every single game, and now it's been a characteristic game from the offense, responding after they get knocked down to get right back up. Time for the bullpen to do their thing and hold strong for the offense to take their lead back in the coming innings.
Maloney sends in a pitch to Obi for strike. Oh, 1 misses upstairs. 1-1 is ball's right next to the crowd mic down there for us.
Crowd mic found a friend for a second.
That one's going to be lined right over to Smith. Glove was down in time and makes it a textbook 5-3 putout.
Yeah, that one came in with a lot of heat, and Smith did a great job of freezing on it, realized that it was right at him, getting his body in front of it, gloving it, and firing it over to first. And he has played a lot of shortstop in his career, so he has a cannon arm and is able to get that ball across the infield really quickly.
Scannell will show bunt, pulls back, but still a strike.
For Scannell, it looks like the infield is going to play him to pole a little bit. The second baseman Heinlein, or excuse me, the shortstop Heinlein there in the middle of your screen is playing a couple of steps to his left.
0-1 to Scannell. Upstairs above the lettering.
A little bit of a Johnny Cueto hitch right there.
I love it. 1-1. Upstairs to Scannell.
In the goal with that hitch is to throw off a hitter's time. It's, you know, as a hitter, you have a certain rhythm to your swing. You get that front foot down, you load your hands, and if you have that pitcher kind of hitching a little bit. You get that front foot down, and then it's coming a split second later, and you kind of double clutch at it, and it throws you off a little bit. So that's the goal of that. But it can also throw off your rhythm as a pitcher.
3-1, runs inside. Scannell works a walk to put himself aboard.
So here's Arndt, who doubled in a run back in the second and popped out to first in the fourth.
Arndt will take his time to settle in, because once you're in that batter's box. So they'll check back. Diving in time is Scannell.
So we have 6 half innings in which a run was scored, and only 3 of them that were shutout half innings.
It's been an offensive day so far.
And it's been a spread out offensive day. It's not like all the runs have come in one inning and they've come in droves. It's kind of all over the place. Scattered offense.
Foul back into the netting.
Consistent consistent offense. I think that's the better word.
Yep.
You see what I'm trying to get at.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And it's a credit to last night. They're carrying through their momentum from last night, scoring 7 runs in only 5 innings. So as we take a look, yeah, that's about how it's gone so far. Just runs galore tonight at McKeon Park.
Pitch upstairs, now 1-1.
Got to start finding the zone here if you're Maloney. Can't afford to keep walking people in a tight game like this.
Popped up into center field. It's going to be in shallow center. Coming in to make the grab is Hyannis. He was able to reach out there with speed. Taylor was also giving chase. Both of them were looking at it. And Hyannis calling off Taylor, puts it in the bucket and calls it an out.
That is an unbelievable play over the shoulder and putting his glove right where it needs to be. He doesn't try and like reach up with his glove at all. That's the only way you can make that play. Just put it where it's going and just hope it falls into it. There are very few shortstops that can make that play.
Great range, too. I mean, you normally see Taylor sprinting in to make that play, but...
Runner goes. Donay fires down. They're going to get him in plenty of time. It's the 8th stealing on the season for the Harbor Hawks. Mowing them down out there right now as we go to Bria off of this fabulous play. Bria?
Thanks, guys. We just saw Matt Maloney on the bump there before. We're going to talk a little bit about how he uses his spin effectively to deceive hitters. So basically, usually spin rate is pretty natural, but he instead manipulates it on his changeup. He has a 4-pitch mix, changeup, curveball, cutter, and his regular fastball. And all of those depend on the spin. So on his fastball, he gets up to about 2,500 revolutions per minute. But on his changeup, he goes all the way down to about 900. Now that's pretty deceptive to hitters, and I'll show you exactly how he does it. So you see the ball here. How he does it is he tucks his thumb underneath for his changeup. That's going to allow it to roll off his thumb, delaying it a little bit, which makes it spin less. So that difference of 900 revolutions per minute to about 2,500 spins per minute is a big enough difference to get a lot of hitters to whiff. All right, back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Bria. And she touched upon it. Maloney is just, that's the inner workings. That's inside baseball right there that Bria Losick, who's done a fabulous job series, you can go watch a couple of them about her breakdowns of the analytics of baseball with how great of a baseball ops team we have in Hyannis, but she's just showing why Maloney is so deceptive as he is.
Yeah, and we've talked about, said the word tunneling quite a little bit. Maloney's now changed that grip on that changeup to make it even more deceptive. It's all about deception and all about hiding those pitches for as long as you can and changing it up a little bit. It's worked to Maloney's benefit. He's looked really well. So he's looked really good so far this summer.
As we go to a second trivia, second trivia tonight here, as we'll read it once again. Do not know any of the trivia here. Is what year did head coach Eric Beatty play in the Cape Cod Baseball League? I know this one since I made our resume for him. So I'll stay off.
No.
I know the answer here.
Okay,
so
wait.
You have 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004.
I think I know it because I read it the other day.
I think D.
You think D?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. We'll wait. We'll get it after this batter here in Cam Smith, who settles in to try and untie it at 5 apiece.
I'm going to go with C. I'm locking it in.
C and D.
2003.
Got it. So they're locked. We'll get it after Cam Smith. So you at home, if you're thinking, maybe want to go Google something real quick. That one's in for a strike on Smith.
I just read this the other day, and I read it earlier today. I am not confident in my answer, though.
Ooh, not confident. 1-1.
I'm not either.
As that one misses low, they'll check down to Mike Hinojosa, the first place umpire, to move it to a 2-1 count.
You made the resume. Grant thought he got you there.
He did. 2-1 in the dirt. Picking up his foot is Smith, 3-1.
Producer Grant trying to stump off some trivia per usual.
I think we're going to have to keep a ledger of the year of how many times and who gets it right.
I don't want that to happen.
3-1, it's a walk for Smith to get on with nobody out. Let's pull him off. Let's see what our answer is here. What year did Eric Beatty play in the Cape Cod Baseball League? It is C. It is 2003.
So I'm 0 for 2.
0 for 2. I'm 0 for 1. Mickey?
2 for 2.
Whoa. Austin Kelly settles in now. Eric Beatty himself.
Coach Beatty very familiar with this league.
Swing and a miss. 0-1. Currently coaches high school baseball just outside of Tampa, Florida, where he went to the University of Tampa.
We know high school baseball in Florida is something else.
0-1, misses high, 1-1. And you talk about high school baseball in Florida, it is a breeding ground for the next level talent.
It's like high school football in Texas.
Yeah, that's a very good comp.
Yeah.
I think you could very argue that. 1-1 to Kelly. He fouls it back into the netting.
How did he get his hands that high? That was up and in. That was out of the zone. And some quick hands to get to that one and fight it off.
Yeah, that guy on first base, Cam Smith, is out of Florida himself. Was the number 1 ranked shortstop coming out of Florida, playing third now. His hands have been on display these last few games. Really, really good stuff at the hot corner from him.
1-2 in the dirt. Arndt keeping it in front of him.
That's a great block from Arndt.
As Caldwell comes in here for, again, another relief appearance here, as Hyannis trying to work on another a pitcher they've already seen previously. It's the 2-2. Misses away, loading the count full. And that one, he went full 2 innings against Hyannis, Caldwell did, from Powder Springs, Georgia. Allowed only 1 run.
It was unearned, though.
It was unearned. As they'll check back, sliding in time is Smith.
And typically the second time you see a pitcher, the more times you see a pitcher, it favors the offense. The offense is able to read his pitches a little bit better.
3-2 clobbered into right center field. Dropping back will be Sauke. That one's going to get off the base of the wall. Smith is going to get wheeled around third. He's going to come in sliding. They're going to try and gun him at home. He comes in. Aggressive call by Eric Beatty to send in Cam Smith, and it pays off. 6-5, Hyannis leads.
And here's that one more look at it. Austin Kelly has been clutch all year for Hyannis. It was a high fastball that he elevates, goes up to get it with his hands. Great piece of hitting, and he rips that in the right center field gap for a RBI double to put the Harbor Hawks back on top.
And again with the response, but now I don't want I don't want to take away from the fact Cam Smith is sending all the way.
Yeah.
His speed is really developing into his game. He has been looking really, really good on the base pass. It was on full display there to score the go-ahead run.
Will Taylor looks at a pitch up and away, 1-0, and they're trying to put some more on.
It's pretty easy to root for Austin Kelly, too. A guy that has very personable guy, always willing to talk to us and other reporters and just hold a conversation, and a guy that's been clutch all year. Like I said earlier, he's come up with some big hits. He hasn't gotten a ton of hits, but when he has, they've been big.
A prime example of that was last night. He had a great night, but we had picked him between us and between me, Bria, and the entire production crew. We were like, I think it's going to be Austin Kelly's name. So she grabs him pregame.
Yeah.
Unknowing to us, he goes off, has a great game. We get him postgame, and once again, these players have all the opportunity to say, hey, I really don't want to have an interview today. Like, I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
They reserve that right, but he came up to us like, I would love to talk to you guys again. Talks to us again for the second time today. So really just showing you how great a person Austin Kelly is and why he's standing on second base, and his offense has been able to come alive. It's worth it.
He had that 2 RBI double last night and a sacrifice fly, drove in 3 runs total, another run today. He also walked in the third and later came around to score, so he's really contributing to this team right now.
The 1-0 to Taylor off the plate. Now 2-0, and he wasn't a guy that was necessarily on the radar.
Yeah,
he was dropped by Falmouth earlier this year as they pick him up after he was cut and has made an instant impact here for the team.
I don't want to compare him to Mitch Jebb, but that's what happened last year with Mitch Jebb. He came in to Hyannis after being dropped by, I believe it was Katuitt.
It was.
And was one of the best players on the Cape, and now is looking at a very high draft pick this year. This year. I was trying to do the mental math of when he was going to be draft eligible, but yes.
Got to do that math sometimes with the draft eligibility in baseball.
Oh, it's a headache, man.
3-0 comes home. They'll back Taylor off as he was quick there, trying to make sure that he wasn't in the wrong there, and he works a walk.
And still no action in the Harwich bullpen right now. A walk, a double, and a walk for Caldwell so far on the inning, and now faces Zach Earhart.
Yeah, when you come in here in this situation, especially when you came in fresh like he did to start things off.
Yeah,
bunt shown, pulled back by Earhart.
He's reached base twice tonight, and the one time he was retired on a pop out to the first baseman, that was only 2 or 3 pitches after launching one down the left field line that was long, long gone if it stayed fair, but unfortunately it was just foul.
(1-0) moves to 2-0.
Now, if Earhart can get himself on base here, get himself a hit, drive in a run, it would really solidify his breakout of this streak. Didn't start so hot, but over these past 2-3 games has come alive, including here today.
2-0 comes home. Earhart fouls it back into the net.
Down the middle of the plate, a little bit up just below the letters, and he just got under it. A fastball that was ripe for launching. Just missed it.
2-1, bunt shown, pulled back again.
Yeah, and if he's not going to find the zone, you just keep taking pitches here.
Yeah. And if it's showing bunt and that's changing how he's addressing and how he's coming home, then you just keep doing that until he's able to find the zone. Swing and a miss there from Earhart.
Yeah, fastball away there. Good pitch. It was probably just a little bit off the plate. Earhart waves and misses.
(3-2) as Caldwell will step off. Wanted to check back to make sure, especially the speedy Kelly wasn't making any more moves. Full count. Upstairs. Earhart walking. Bases loaded now. And still nobody away here in this bottom of the 6th.
And now you have Brody Donay against a lefty. And Donay, his trouble is sometimes seeing pitches in those strikeouts. And as a right-handed hitter, you're going to see a lefty a lot better than you will a righty. So this is advantage Donay right now.
Pitch upstairs, 1-0. They're going to start motioning in the bullpen here.
Yeah.
1-0 from Caldwell to come to Donay. He swings and misses, evening the count at 1 apiece. As here, it's going to be Will Pearson starting to get loose out of the University of Georgia.
Getting loose with some pace there.
1-1 fouled away, now 1-2.
Donay has each of a result. He's got a single, double hit, and home run off of lefty pitching this year. 4 for 18 off of southpaws this season.
1-2, ripped foul. The hard hit ground ball again that couldn't come back into fair territory.
Yeah, and just earlier today, he extended his home hitting streak to 8 games. As you see him choke up on the bat here, trying to add a little bit of bat speed and a little bit of bat control, sacrificing a little bit of power.
1-2.
That.
Now 2-2, and by choking up there, that's going to make your 2-strike approach in that situation where you just want to try and push for contact hitting instead of trying to blow this one out of the park. 2-2, swing and a miss. Cardwell's able to finally pick up an out here in this bottom of the 6th, and it's via the strikeout.
So Eric Snow is going to hit for Trey Lipsy here, setting up a righty on a lefty. And that's smart. Lipsy has struggled to see the lefties today, and Snow comes in, more favorable matchup here.
And you don't have to do much navigation here, as Lipsy is the designated hitter.
Yeah.
Correct.
So you've got him in a spot here where it's easy to switch out. Snow can stay in the game, no risk there. So now Snow comes up. He's been also seeing the ball a lot better over the last 3-4 games. Saw him slap one to right last night.
He goes down swinging on that first one. Oh, and well.
Great breaking ball. Just dove out of the zone there.
Another swing and a miss from Snow. 0-2 here, and Snow over the past week has been hitting .308. He is the hot bat right now to come off the bench here, trying to get it done cold. He's behind in the count, 0-2. He goes down swinging and missing.
Yeah, that was the same pitch 3 in a row. They were all located, well, the first 2 were located more in on Snow, but that one, same level. It was in the dirt and same result. So Snow goes down on 3 pitches, and it'll be up to Brad Keylori with the bases loaded.
It's a swing and a miss from Brad Keylori, fouling it back into the glove. Oh, 1, another swing and miss from Laurie as Caldwell figures out something here.
Yeah, what happened with Caldwell? He's suddenly locating all of his pitches, is able to find the zone when he needs to, and is a strike away from getting out of a bases-loaded jam.
0-2, pitch in the dirt.
No swing.
Check down to Mike Hinojosa. They'll say he did not go. And now here, Laurie with bases loaded in a big spot. 1-2. Fouled off. He keeps his at-bat alive. That's what you need here out of Laurie in this spot.
Yeah, keep battling there as there you see the ball boy racing to the ball behind home plate. It doesn't look like he has much competition tonight from Harwich. But a huge pitch coming right here.
1-2 from Caldwell to come home. Upstairs, great discipline, evening the count at 2 apiece. Bases loaded. Kelly worked a double. He stands at third. Taylor worked a walk. He stands at second. Earhard worked a walk. He stands at first. The 2-2 home. In there looking. Brad Keylori goes down looking. With bases loaded, Harborhawks only get one across. They lead 6-5.
Retirement strategies come in all shapes and sizes. One strategy does not fit all when it comes to reaching your retirement goals. And considering all your options may be, well, more than you want to think about. So whether you're looking to retire or already living in retirement, you need a strategy tailor-made for you.
Fairway Financial can create a personal retirement strategy just for you, designed to take care of you and your loved ones. Call us today at 508-398-3337.
As we welcome you back here tonight, as Grant McNew, our producer, is working to call the Hawks tonight. It's a chant he made himself. It's a little homage to the Arkansas Razorbacks, where he calls home Arkansas. And so he's going to get the crowd into it here tonight, as they're going to get ready and fired up here, as why shouldn't they be? They have the lead right now in a back-and-forth contest, 6-5. Michael Kirsting, Mickey Doolittle, I'm Jacob Irons. Bria Losick down on the sidelines for us tonight. Guys, fans here in abundance on July 4th weekend, and they've got a lot to cheer about for right now.
Yeah, no, they are out and ready, as this is just the McKeon Park is just a couple of steps from downtown Hyannis, so you can check a couple of boxes here in Hyannis. If you were to come to McKeon Park, you can go downtown, maybe have a nice meal, see the museums that downtown has to offer, and come and see a ball game.
That's what we ask. It's always a good one, as it's Darren Horn from Coastal Carolina, from Bluffton, South Carolina, to come in of relief to try and really close this door here if possible.
Yeah, a guy that came out of the bullpen most of the time this year with Coastal. There you see his numbers so far, only 2 innings pitched. They haven't been great for him, but the adjustment to the Cape against these great hitters is tough. So he just arrived out here. Of course, Coastal, all the Coastal players starting to flood into the Cape in recent weeks.
Yeah, and I'd like to remind our fans, the lights at McKeon Park stay bright all season long thanks to the NAC Cape Cod. The NAC offers 2 locations, Hyannis and Orleans, both offering delicious burgers, tacos, sandwiches, and more. Visit thenacapecod.com to order online today. The NAC Cape Cod is proud to be the Light Up the Park sponsor of the Harborhawks all season long. As Horn settles in, and it's a swing and a miss, as it will be a pinch hitter here in this spot. It will be Goodman out of Princeton for Camarillo. Goodman comes in 2 for 10 on the year. He looks at a strike from Horn. Pitch away, now 2-2. Horn, a filthy pitcher, really ranks all those in RPM so far in the league, as that one's going to be poked into foul territory, and Kelly will watch it drop down just a couple feet in front of him.
Goodman, a former draft pick to the Texas Rangers back in 2022. Sophomore out of Medfield, Massachusetts. Guys, do you know where Medfield, Massachusetts is?
Ooh, as the resident New Englander, I probably should, as the 2-2 comes home, as that one's popped up into foul territory. Kelly parked under it. He gets the put out.
I want to take a guess. I don't know where it's at. The only thing that I could really guess is it's maybe close to Springfield. I don't know, though. Do you?
Yeah, I know.
Do you have
exactly
an answer to
where it
this?
is. No, I don't.
Oh, then he's asking
Come
a
on
question
now.
he doesn't have an answer
I thought
to.
you knew the answer
Oh,
to that.
jeez.
It is an hour and 24 minutes from this ballpark.
Oh, goodness. As we go back to the top of the lineup, as that one from Humphrey is chopped into the glove of Smith. Across the diamond. Will it be in time? Yes, it will.
Yeah, Smith took a bit of a beat there. Wanted to take his time, field it. He fielded it cleanly, and he needed to throw a pellet over there to first, and just in time to get the speedy Humphrey.
Guys, I'm asking you guys, the resident East Coasters, a legitimate question
No,
that I don't
that's a
know
very,
the answer to.
That's a very good.
Not the resident New Englander over here. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's on me. That's on me, guys. I'll pick up more slack there. That's a healthy swing and a miss from Sauke, the right fielder.
It's just outside of Boston.
Yeah, right off 495.
You know that 495. It's really 495. I don't know. What are you talking about? What's the 495?
495 is the highway.
Oh, okay.
Off the interstate. I've got a 495 down me. That's the Beltway down in Washington. Not the same one.
1-1. Popped foul and out of play. Here in this situation.
Oh, there's already 2 outs.
1-2. Popped up and foul. Good to know Mickey Doolittle's paying attention right now as he calls this game.
I'm researching Medfield, Massachusetts, guys.
There's a baseball game in
Well,
front
you
of
guys, if you guys would have answered the question, then I would have been paying more attention.
If I knew where Medfield, Massachusetts was, after only
yeah,
being
the
to
Cam
Boston.
Smith play. I remember watching
1-2, lined off over to Hainline at short. He bobbles it and can't make it on the transfer. Sauke will reach on the error.
Uncharacteristic out there from Hainline. They brought him in for his glove. Only made 2 errors the entire season once conference play started with Washington State. So those plays are always going to happen, and now it's time for Horn to pitch around it.
Yeah, and this is where you see a lot of bullpen arms specifically get tested, is when something goes wrong around them that they're maybe not in control of. We'll see if he can buckle down and get out of this.
Swing and a miss from Guerrera. First baseman who had a double back in the 5th, worked a walk in the 3rd, and then struck out in the 1st.
2 out rallies have been something Harwich has been able to find multiple times tonight.
And it's dangerous to be giving Harwich, of all teams, a second opportunity. You never want to give that to a team with an on-base percentage as high as theirs, as well as an average as good as theirs as well.
1-1 from Horn. That one's going to be lined foul just out of the reach of the diving Kelly. So comes in today. We showed that stat graphic earlier in the game as the Mariners have a 247 team batting average, which is 4th in the league, and then they have a 360 OBP, which is 2nd in the league right now.
Yeah, they've been a team that have displayed that on-base ability today as well. They've got a lot of traffic on the bases. Only 5 hits, but they've drawn a couple of walks as well.
2-2 runner set in motion. It's a swing and miss. They'll apply the tag, and that will work it out of it. It's a 4-batter inning for Darren Horn. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Hyannis leading by 1.
Diet Coke? Were you my mom?
You should be so lucky, because you know what moms do? Well, I suppose we should start with the whole giving you life thing. It seems like that should be enough. No? Okay. What about her ability to send shockwaves through the neighborhood without saying a word? Or whip up a ridiculous handmade costume that you forgot to tell her about? Not to make you happy, but because she had a reputation to uphold. She invented rideshare, called it carpool, and did it for free. She didn't need those dating apps either. You copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music.
Why not?
Oh, and she can win any argument in 4 words.
Because I said so.
Everything you're trying to do, she's already done it, did it better, and she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, drink what your mama gave you.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. It's stretch time here, which means take me out to the ball game and a little bit of chicken jants to make sure you are up and moving here as our writing team in Bria Losick down there getting in on it. But let's take a look around the league and see what else is rolling on. Around the league, it's a big one. It's final between Brewster and Chatham, 6-3. They were able to get that victory. Cotuit and YD is final as well, as Cotuit picks up that win 6-2.
Battle of 2 first-place teams right there.
Battle of the 2 first-place teams. Tied in the bottom of the 6 is Bourne and Falmouth at 5 apiece. And then in the top of the 6 right now, Orleans leading by 1 over Wareham, 4-3. And then Hyannis up 6-5 in the game right here happening in front of you.
Yeah, Cotuit picking up their 14th win of the year. They have been so good, and that was one of their biggest tests of the year against YD.
Mitchell settles in to the box as it's going to be 1-2-3 due up for the Harbor Hawks here in the bottom of the 7th to try and tack on to their lead.
And against Caldwell, who struck out 3 straight hitters after loading the bases back in the previous inning, the 6th.
Yeah, YD will be watching this one closely
Yeah.
as they are just a point ahead of Harwich. They'll definitely be pulling for Hyannis in this game.
1-1 misses upstairs, now 2-1 to Mitchell. So far today, he has been able to find first base in a multiple of ways. 2-1, now 3-1 as he reached on an error in the first, had a triple in the second, walked in the 4th, and had a single in the 5th. 3-1. Pulled foul up by the parking lot.
And that was actually a hit in the first. I kind of disagree with the scoring as well. I think thought it should have been an error, but it was ultimately ruled a single.
3-2, swing and a miss. He goes down swinging. And now for Caldwell, after allowing his first 4 batters he faced to get on, he now has retired the next 4, all via the strikeout.
Yeah, he's found something. He was struggling to throw strikes in those first 4 hitters. He walked 3 of them and then gave up an RBI double.
Pitch dropping in on Heinlein. Another pitch dropping in at 82 miles an hour on the Heinlein. We had a double back in the 4th and a single in the 1st. Looks at one off the plate.
So if you're the Harbor Hawks front office, who are you rooting for between Bourne and Falmouth?
That's a tough one.
Good question.
As that one's off the plate, 2-2.
Because you're 2 points behind Bourne. If you were to pick up a win right now, you'd be tied for 2nd place. But at the same time, that final playoff spot cuts off at the 5th spot in the division.
I think I'm taking Falmouth because it cuts down on Bourne a little bit. It allows my team, to be getting up closer to 2nd place, and then you can take care of business on your own against Falmouth.
So you're out of the danger zone of missing the playoff.
Yes, it takes me further away from that.
Heinlein works a walk to get a board. And then really a great at-bat there. Heinlein's able to work back and get a board. And now that brings up Cam Smith.
Harbor Hawks have had a ton of traffic on the bases today. They've left 11 men on base. But that's a stat that you hear and you scoff at and you're like, that's terrible.
Lined right back up to Caldwell. He gets his glove on it and fires it in time to retire Smith. Moving his Heinlein over to 2nd. 2 retired.
That's a stat that you normally associate with negativity, but that also means that Hyannis is getting runners on today. And 6 runs is also nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, that's where you look at it. If they maybe had like 1 or 2 runs, it'd be a concerning stat. But they have the lead in a decent game right now, too, while you want maybe 1 or 2 more to come around. You can't be too upset because
they're going to check back. That one's going to drift away from Camarillo. And no move there in that situation for Hyannis.
yeah, they've been able to make the most of their opportunities with runners on base. Scoring 6 through this stage of the game, you're probably going to be leaving a few runners on.
Runner set in motion, a swing and a miss from Kelly. Is he in there safely? He is indeed. A great jump from Hyannis on a stolen base to get down the line. What a great shot by our cameraman, Nico Sharp, shooting down the line. He is pretty sharp on that camera tonight. 0-1 here to Kelly. That one's popped up into center field. Scannell positioning himself under it, drifting back, and gets the out. Hyannis still leading 6-5. We go and push to the 8th inning.
Retirement strategies come in all shapes and sizes. One strategy does not fit all when it comes to reaching your retirement goals. And considering all your options may be, well, more than you want to think about. So whether you're looking to retire or already living in retirement, you need a strategy tailor-made for you.
Fairway Financial can create a personal retirement strategy just for you, designed to take care of you and your loved ones. Call us today at 508-398-3337.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference. Leave your mark. Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself. Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Well, welcome you back. Harwich making a call to the bullpen. It's Dennis Colleran, and man, he's got the stash in all with that smile on that headshot, and these are his, God, baseball league stats. So it's a lot of zeros through 1 inning pitch, but in that 1 inning pitch, he was dominant.
He struck out 1 of the 3 hitters. He's been really good. He comes in with that 3/4 arm slot, pretty much right at 3/4. He's a guy that's going to throw hard and is a lot of fun to watch. He's got electric stuff, and will be tasked with holding this Harwich attack down in only a 1-run game.
This is a guy that's using summer ball. He didn't have a spring season. He did not appear for Northeastern throughout the spring, so he comes to summer here in this spot to really try and work and get those reps that he missed a little bit in the spring.
Yeah, and it's important for a guy like Colleran, who will be shooting for the draft in the coming years, to be able to get himself back right. It's a really nice opportunity for him to be able to get out here despite not having the spring season. Great stuff from Hyannis to be able to pick him up, too, and realize how good he's been.
That one's fouled back as it's Carrier in the box now.
96 miles an hour on the gun.
We were talking about it when we saw him last time. He was not in front of a gun at Harwich, as that one misses 1-1. So we were questioning off and on the broadcast how hard he was throwing. And now with a gun in front of us, as the 1-1 misses low, 2-1. That's at 95 miles an hour. He is throwing hard. This is a guy that Harborhawks are excited to have, as that one's ripped into right field. Dropping back will be Earhart on the track, making the leap. He makes the ground.
Wow. That was one heck of an adjustment by Earhart, as here you see he's running with the wrong shoulder square to the ball. He's going to twist back to the other side to his left and reach up and make a play. That is a tough adjustment as that ball is descending on you.
Yeah, they tend to get turned around on balls that drop so fast like that. So to be able to shift your hips and give that good drop step is the key for Earhart there. He corrected himself well because that ball was coming in and dipping fast. So nice work using the drop step and being allowed, not being panicking and staying composed by Earhart.
Now a 1-1 count to Lavari as his speed continues to stay up there, 96, and we're reading it off the scoreboard. You can go 3 in either direction off of that gun as the 1-1 misses away. Now 2-1.
The 7th inning of this game is the first time we've had a scoreless inning in this one.
That one's fouled by right back to us. Netting protecting us, though. We had an opportunity yesterday.
I didn't see anyone flinch.
No.
I'm glad.
That's good.
I'm glad we didn't flinch.
That's good.
It is game 19 of the season, so you hope you start getting used to baseballs coming right back at you. There's a 2-2 to come home. That one's down in the dirt. Donay keeps it in front of him.
We had an opportunity last night.
Yeah. That one just...
about 10 or 15 feet over our heads.
We're going to have to try it because we're positioned always when we're at away games directly up against the brick wall.
Chatham's the place it'll happen.
3-2, that one's golf foul down the left field line.
We're there one more time in July. On July 25th. You can get a foul ball then.
You might have to pull the headset off to start running against some kids.
I wouldn't put it past you, Mickey.
It's full count, misses low. Lavari works a walk. Now a runner on here for Colleran.
Yeah, and here comes Obi, who homered back in the 4th. So, guy that you don't want to be seeing right now, but a little bit of action out in Hyannis' bullpen. Guys staying loose.
Cross Sibley doing a little
light stretching.
A light stretching, yeah, working the lower part of his body as the 0-1 to come to Obi. They'll check back, sliding in safely as Lavari.
The gun on that throw over to first just said 97 miles an hour. I don't know about that one, guys.
Trigger happy over there, the gun is. Now the 0-1. That one's fisted into the Bermuda Triangle, and it will drop down in front of Mitchell. Trying to push to third. No one was there as Smith has came off the bag, and now the tying run in Lavari stands at third.
Wow, that was trouble from the get-go as Mitchell just had no chance of getting there. Nobody had any chance of getting there. Dropped into no man's land, but the key there is Smith retreated back into left field trying to track that ball down. Nothing wrong with that, but he left third base, and then that left that open, so nobody covering it, and they might have had a chance to get Lavari over at third, but it was just not in time.
And really good heads-up base running, too, from Lavari to be able to notice that head with a full head of steam going straight into third.
So here comes Eric Lexus to have a conversation with Colleran.
As he's going to call the entire infield in here. So instead of using Eric Beatty to come out and have a conversation here, he'll use his pitching coach, who was an interim head coach when Skip Eric Beatty stepped away there for a little bit. And now he comes in to maybe talk a little strategy. You only have one away, but now runners on the corners and how you want to proceed in this spot to not allow the tying run as we're starting to inch closer and closer into that 9th inning.
Beautiful job avoiding the white line by pitching coach Eric Lexus. You never step on the white line. Never do that. That is
bad juju.
A cardinal sin in baseball.
As Jeffrey Merzell comes out, the home plate umpire looks to go break it up as.
And I got to say, that was perfect form from Coach Lexus. He barely broke his stride, didn't have to do one of those awkward like hop steps to get over it. Fundamentally sound right there.
So now Matt Scannell, the center fielder, who had a single and was able to come back around and score in the 2nd, comes back up with the tying run at third. Pitch in for a strike.
97 miles an hour.
Collar in here trying to work out of the jam. 0-1 missing. Now 1-1.
Why the situation is so interesting is because the runner, the tying run 90 feet away could score. They can't really just let the runner on first go to second because that puts the go-ahead run in scoring position too. So you got to be pitching maybe for a bit of contact here, but at the same time, if you can get the strikeout, keep the runners where they're at, and just get the second out the easiest way possible, that would be the ideal situation.
A big 1-2 here to come from Colleran. That one will be lined in time, sliding. Unable to pick it up is Laurie. Scoring. In time is Lavari. We're back tied at 6. Obi going station to station there and over to second base.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate. He got him to roll over on an off-speed pitch away, got the exact result that he wanted, and more soft contact has gotten Harwich back even here in the 8th inning.
Now rule it a hit for Scannell. 0-0 pitch now to Arndt as he goes around swinging and missing. As Donay will come out to talk to Colleran here, and we talk about it. This is a situation where Donay and whoever the catcher is, it's a battery, and this is the conversation. They're calling their own pitches here, so that might have been a conversation. Hey, what are you liking here right now in this big spot?
Yeah, and especially with a guy with Colleran that throws so hard, you need to remain calm and control your pitches, put them in good spots. Set yourself up for success as that one misses and it's 1-1.
Arndt settles in for Colleran. Runner set in motion. That one is pulled foul over by the Houses. Designed hit and run there to try and eliminate the double play possibility.
Eliminate the double play and score both runners there. You don't send them from first and second for just no reason there.
1-2 the count here.
Big hole on that right side of the infield between Kelly and Laurie.
1-2. Pulled foul and out of play over by the grass and the open field. That is the gap Mickey is talking about between Laurie and Kelly. It is massive. It's almost the side of the right side of the infield. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. First base occupied. Arndt goes down swinging.
Big strike out there. Off-speed pitch away at 84. Not really off-speed. That's modern day off-speed. That is a lot of velocity coming in with a lot of movement. Just breaks away from him, dives out of the zone for strike 3.
That brings up Goodman. That one's going to be right over to Laurie. He steps on the bag. They work out of the jam. However, Harwich responds to get it back tied at 6 apiece. We're going to the bottom 8th. Tie.
Hey, Mama, what's up?
Did you switch my service from Verizon to T-Mobile? Yep.
T-Mobile has the only nationwide 5G.
Well, Mr. Know-It-All, let's see if you right about that.
Mama. Hey, Mama, I'm working.
It works at the pie shop.
T-Mobile's 5G works inside and out. Hey, what you need, Mama? I'm trying to watch the game with my boys.
It works in the park.
Oh, okay. Mama?
It works at the aquarium, in the parking garage, at the beach, in the elevator. It works in the movie theater, too. Oh, shush yourself. I'm talking to my baby.
You're driving me crazy.
I was just calling you to say thank you, baby. I love you.
I love you too, Mama. Yes, Mama.
It works in the kitchen.
Tell Mama.
Mama?
5G, it works in the club.
Who are you on the club with?
All about it. Tell Mama.
We push on to the bottom of the 8th. Thank you so much for joining us on your Sunday evening here tonight as it's Michael Kirsting, Mickey Doolittle, Bria Losick on the sidelines. I'm Jacob Irons. Hoping you're hanging with us whether you're on YouTube or D1Baseball.com here in this spot.
Mind if I take something quick to say something? I've got a little birthday shout out if you guys don't mind. My brother Ben back home, 18 years old today. Know he's watching back home right now. Wanted to give him a birthday shout out. He's finally reached 18.
Yeah, big 1-8.
The big 1-8, baby.
An adult.
Yeah, he's an adult now.
Can vote, buy a lotto ticket.
I think he went and bought a lotto ticket today.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's the traditional 18th birthday thing to do.
But I'm just going to say in this spot, I don't know if you can buy a lottery ticket because you don't know who's going to win this one right now because it is going back and forth as we are tied at 6 apiece.
Yeah, once Hyannis took the lead back in the 6th inning, you kind of felt like all the momentum was on their side with their great bullpen. Typically, if you see them take leads late in the game, they typically end up winning those because their bullpen has been so good, but they ultimately let up a run in the 8th, and now it's time to score a run.
As Taylor flies that one into right field, Salke back on it to make the grab against Taylor. Now they'll bring up Zach Earhart after a quick out from Will Taylor, but little bit of movement here in the bullpen as we'll take a look at that replay. A little bit of a bat flip from the ball boys.
That was awesome.
As it's the nightmare himself, Michael Rodriguez, starting to get warm as Earhart looks at a strike. 0-1. Another swing and miss. He's behind in the count 0-2.
What has happened to Colin Caldwell? He is absolutely dealing after letting the first 4 hitters he faced reach base, including the go-ahead run back in the 6th. He has buckled down and been fantastic since then. Only 1 walk since that last runner he led on base.
Adapting on the fly is such a big thing, and clearly he's found something, snapped back into shape, and he's really been carrying the ball here through the rest of the night.
Oh, apologize for that. Direct hit to our crowd, Mike. Maybe not quite direct hit, but the netting coming over it.
2-2. Down low, bouncing off the plate. Now 3-2.
Yeah, if Earhart can get on base, he's stolen 2 bases today. That would be big.
That one is upstairs as he'll work a walk. Right on cue for you, Mickey. He's able to get on, and now some versatility enters the base pass.
Yeah,
for the Harbor Hawks.
Be ready. He stole 2nd back in the 3rd, and he stole 3rd back in the 5th, so he very well could be in motion here.
It would be interesting is that's what they're going to talk about right now and even bring in a new pitcher here. Well, I'll get to my point after the break.
As we'll throw it to a break, as Caldwell's night will close, Pearson will come in. We'll talk about him on the other side right here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Diet Coke? Who are you, my mom?
You should be so lucky, because you know what moms do? Well, I suppose we should start with the whole giving you life thing. It seems like that should be enough. No? Okay. What about her ability to send shockwaves through the neighborhood without saying a word? Or whip up a ridiculous handmade costume that you forgot to tell her about? Not to make you happy, but because she had a reputation to uphold. She invented rideshare, called it carpool, and did it for free. She didn't need those dating apps either. You copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music.
Why not?
Oh, and she can win any argument in 4 words.
Because I said so.
Everything you're trying to do, she's already done it, did it better, and she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, drink what your mama gave you.
Welcome you back to McKeon Park. It's a new arm for Harwich in this do-or-die situation form as it's Will Pearson out of The University of Georgia out of Athens, Georgia as well, comes in with a 1.92 ERA through 3 games. It's pitched 4 2/3, and his last outing came against Hyannis again in that game 4 days ago.
It feels like Hyannis is just facing the same exact pitchers as they did back on June 28th, as Pearson went 1/3 of an inning, gave up 3 runs, all of them unearned. Only 1 hit, a walk, and a strikeout for him. But a guy that, outside of that outing and you know, the 0 earned runs, has been really, really good this year. A 1.92 ERA across 4 2/3 innings. A guy that is more than capable, and a big part of this situation is holding Zach Earhart on, because again, as we mentioned going into break, he's stolen 2 bases today, including he stole 3rd back in the 5th.
So yeah, it's interesting what you want to do here with him, because you have your runner on. You wonder if you want to jeopardize it. Even though Earhart has great speed, it would be very, in my opinion, would be aggressive, though I'm not against sending him here, getting the runner into scoring position and eliminating the double play. So there are pros and cons to both.
It's a good-sized lead right now.
1-0 pitch misses off the plate, 2-0.
Surprised they haven't checked over to him yet.
They've kept Earhart pretty docile, but wouldn't be shocked if you maybe see a hit and run in the possibility. 2-0, they're going to check back to him. Gloving it is Guerrero to keep it.
And Ethan Bates has grabbed a bat and is standing in the on-deck circle. A left-handed hitter out of Louisiana Tech, perhaps setting up a lefty on righty matchup here. But at hand right now, Brody Donay has a 2-0 count leverage.
2-0. That one's line and will get down. It'll be a fair ball bouncing all the way to the wall. Speeding around second is Earhart. They're going to wheel him in. He'll come in with the speed. It's bobbled by Goodman, cutting it off. Hyannis retakes the lead.
Brody Donay is seeing the ball the size of a beach ball right now. This guy can't miss the baseball as he lines that one down the left field line, absolutely scorched it, and puts the Harbor Hawks back on top.
And that's huge. That's why we were debating about sending Earhart there, because you keep him on first for that. That's why he scores. You don't jeopardize it with your runner on, and you've got such a good hitter in Brody Donay that if he does something like that, puts it in a gap, gets it to the wall, it will score Earhart with his speed. So great managerial work there, keeping Earhart at first as they're going to give Bates the intentional pass. Great stuff from Donay as well. We've talked about how he's really come into form, showing it right there. Clutch hits and clutch stuff from him.
Now with the intentional walk, they set up the double play possibility. With now still only 1 away here in the bottom of the 8th.
And there's that pitch again. It was, you know, just a little bit below the belt. Perfectly put on a tee for Donay. And, man, he did not miss that one.
Laurie looks at a strike, 0-1, and Laurie's 0 for 3 on the day. They pass Bates, who came in to pinch hit. They push him down to first, and now trying to work it out with Laurie in the box. Laurie fouls that one back into the dugout of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, going through the gap.
And as good as Caldwell was, that run goes on his ledger because he's the one who walked Earhart, and that was his last batter. So fantastic stuff, but it can be a cruel game sometimes. That one's going to go on his stat sheet.
0-2 to Laurie. Off the plate, 1-2. Rodriguez starting to warm up over there as the Nightmares trying to wreak havoc.
The Scary Award recipient.
Yes, on the early bird pod. Now the 1-2. Chopper into the infield. Charging in is going to be Goodman. With Laurie's speed, he is unable to beat it down the line. Now 2 away, but moving on the play was Bates over to second and Donay to third. Now you go back to the top of the lineup in Nick Mitchell.
And this is a huge at-bat here. We'll take another look as really Laurie was busting it out of the box. Let's take another look at how close it was. Yeah, pretty close. very tough to tell. But now with this at bat here with Mitchell, massive if they can get these 2 runs in. That can give them a 3-run cushion going into the top of the 9th and a lot less higher leverage of a situation for the pitcher, whether it be Rodriguez or if Colleran can stay in. If they get the runs in here, it could save Rodriguez's arm.
1-0 to Mitchell. That one's going to get blooped. A little bit of a dropping step, but able to get his weight over it is Salke. Hyannis responds. They retake the lead. It's time for the Nightmare to step onto the bump and try and keep this one in turn for Hyannis. 7-6. Harbor Hawks leading. We go to the 9th.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You got to come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own, you turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
You're a bad mother.
The Nightmares trying to live in Harwich's dreams as he tries to close this one out. 7-6, Hyannis leading. Let's take a look at his numbers. He has been electric.
Yeah, he's really forced his way into the back end of this bullpen, coming out as the closer. Most nights in the last week or so, this guy has been so good. 2-1 record, a 1.58 ERA, 5 2/3 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts and 4 walks. He has that lower 3/4 arm slot and is a just electric lefty.
We saw a little blip on the radar last time out against Bourne. Let up that walk-off walk against them, but we've seen Rodriguez's ability all year long. You're going to have outings like that, and he comes back out here in a 1-run game, and this is exactly where he loves living. So I'm confident Rodriguez gets back on the bump and gets the save here.
Big opportunity. Let's work you through it. So it was an energetic first. Both Harwich and Hyannis score. Hyannis would have the lead 2-1. Then Harwich would respond in the second to get their own. Then it would be in the bottom of the third. Hyannis would respond to take the lead, break the tie 2-2, now 3-2. Harwich would respond to the top of the fourth, tying it back at 3 apiece. Then 2 runs would score in the fifth for Harwich, and then 2 in the bottom for Hyannis. Then Hyannis would score in the bottom of the 6th. We would go scoreless in the 7th. They would get one in the top of the 8th. Hyannis just got one back in the bottom of the 8th, making this a 1-run game in favor of the Harbor Hawks as it stands right now, but it's 1, 2, and 3 due up for the Mariners.
Yeah, and a 1-2-3 that has been pretty effective so far today. But Humphrey, the leadoff hitter, has only reached once. He's 0 for 3, and he will get us started.
Rodriguez goes inside for an 80-mile-an-hour pitch that gets Humphrey swinging and missing. Oh, 1 comes home, fouled off over by the Bat Boys.
Yeah, nice off-speed pitch in there. It just ran in on him, and it went off his knuckles.
He swings at that because that starts in the middle of the plate and frisbees back in on the hands. Really good work just to even get a piece of that.
0-2. Miss inside for a strike. A delay call from Jeffrey Merzel. Gets Humphrey down looking, and now 1 retired.
Yeah, it looked like he announced the call. He yelled it. Everybody on the field knew, but we couldn't quite hear it from up here, and eventually gave the sign, and strike 3 looking. And this is the meat of this order right here, starting right now with Shoki. Sauke.
That one's lined into the glove of Smith, ranging over to his side. Fires in time. It's a 5-3 putout.
That is a great play by Smith to go over to his left. He had to reach all the way down, reach full extension down by his shoelaces, and set his feet and fired across the infield, and now Hyannis 1 out away.
Mariners trying to extend tonight's contest with Mason Guerra in the box. Nothing pitch, runs inside. One-0 to come. Chopper off over to Hainline, gloves it, fires in time. Rodriguez comes in. 7-6. Hyannis gets their 10th win of the summer. An electric contest going back and forth. On the final play, Hainline retires Guerra. And the 10th win of the season gets Hyannis back in front and able to jump a little bit.
What a satisfying win for the Hawks. They battled back and forth. This game went between hitters, between pitchers, letting up runs, scoring runs. Only one full inning that went scoreless, and it was just that 7. And getting that last run in the bottom of the 8th, really big stuff from Brody Donay in another clutch situation. Wrapping this one all up as we take a look at the live standings now. That is such a huge win. It's not live, beg your pardon, but that's such a huge win for Hyannis, jumping them up to 10 wins on the season and a real complete team effort.
Yeah, the Cardiac Hawks are back. In the last 3 games, they've played in a couple of one-run games, including that game last night that got cut short, but that one was back and forth as well. Great job to pick up their 10th win of the year, and as Bourne and Falmouth is Bourne in second place just above Hyannis, they are tied at 5 right now in the bottom of the 8th.
And also you have to look at Wareham. They're leading Orleans 6-5 as well in that situation. So this game had very large implications as well as in the East, as you also had to look. YD doesn't lose any ground over Harwich as they still stay a point ahead. But that's going to do it for us up here in the Tim Elstrom Broadcast Center. For Michael Kirsting, Mickey Doolittle, Josh Schreiber, Grant McNew, and Nico Sharp, I'm Jacob Iron saying so long. Hyannis Harborhawks get it done. 7-6 in a back-and-forth contest. We'll see you tomorrow.
If you live here, fun is your thing. If you live here, tough is your thing. Smart is your thing. Caring is your thing. If you live in Massachusetts, community is your thing. Since 1972, the Massachusetts State Lottery has provided over $25 billion to help cities and towns with the things they need most. If you live here, giving is your thing.
My family earns respect.
My family clears bases.
My family breaks records. My family wins MVPs.
My family gives everything.
My family makes history. My family wins championships.
There's no family.
There's no family.
There's no family. There's no family like my family. Join the fam.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
When Alaska Airlines needed a partner for the complex operations of travel, they made the switch to T-Mobile. Our 5G has Alaska Airlines and their customers covered, from major hubs to remote destinations, with 5G coverage ready now for the demands of today and the future. T-Mobile's network powers Alaska Airlines as they deliver next-level care for all customers. 5G ready now. That's how unconventional thinking is better for business.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news, some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.